Yeah, so I mean, I've been getting I don't know what's going on here. Like, okay, so there's two things, right? Two things.
Okay.
Two changes have come into my life as of this week, right? Or
Yeah.
well, last week. One, I got a haircut, and now everybody thinks I have a permanent perm. Like people just are. I have not heard the end of. Oh, you must have got a perm.
No, you just have curly hair.
Yeah, Kendall, you need to confirm this for everybody right fucking now. I don't have a perm. This is just what my hair is. Please.
When you cut your hair short, it gets very, very curly. Like that is pretty true. It gets pretty weighted down when you get it grown out. It looks nice short though. I do very like it.
It's fine. It works. But if I hear any fucking perm accusations, I swear to fucking God, it's over. It's
That's
so
all
over.
natural, baby.
The second thing is I don't know why this is happening to me, and like I didn't expect to ever have to talk about this issue or face this. Like I really didn't expect to have to face this kind of harassment. Um, I'm getting called Four
Okay.
Eyes a lot this past week.
Yeah, how does it feel? Welcome to the club. Mhm.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah,
You didn't get them in high school. You got them as an adult, and you're still being called Four Eyes. Ha ha. Bullying also happens as an adult.
yeah. So this is what happens when all of your friends from high school stay your friends.
Yeah, because you called them Four Eyes in high school, and now you're just getting it back.
Yeah, it's kind of deserved. It's maybe a little bit deserved. Um,
They do look good though. What made you
Thank
get
you.
glasses?
So, I was playing a video game with Meg a couple weeks ago. We were playing Absalom. It's a fun little beat 'em up game on the television over here. And I was on this couch, and I could not read any of the text on the screen. Meg had to read it all out to me. And this is like I've known this to be a problem like for a while, but it's become really
Mhm.
apparent since I've started playing more like video games from the couch. Uh,
Yeah.
as one does, and yeah, no, it just wasn't really working for me. So I made the brave decision to book an optometry appointment. And not only am I nearsighted, I honestly all I can do is laugh at this now. I went through an entire degenerative eye disease without knowing it.
Are you serious?
I am fucking dead serious.
Like, are you fine? Do you have to treat it, or is it just is what it is now?
So right now it's fairly mild. Right now it seems like it's totally fine. What it is, it's called let me double check the name. It's a weird it's got a weird name. I want to say it's like keratoconus or something. It's
Okay.
basically it's let me just double check this. Keratoconus is what it's called. It's basically when your corneas start like you know how obviously your eyeballs are spherical.
Yes.
Your corneas start turning into cones.
The eyes are flat, actually.
Eyes are flat.
Yeah.
New
Did you just
right
say
wing
the eyes turn
conspiracy
into
drop.
conspiracy theory? Your eyes are flat. Everything is flat.
Yeah.
We're all flat, Stanley. Did you just say turn into cones?
They turn into cones. They start coning out. So what happens essentially? It's apparently like I don't know like the rarity of this. I'm guessing it's like probably between uncommon and fairly common. I don't know. But
Right.
it's usually prevalent within men 18 to 25, and typically it starts around that age and ends around when you're 25. And basically what happens is essentially like yeah, your corneas just kind of like cone out. It can be from allergies. It could be from like asthma. It could be just like genetics. But it is very like apparently like if you rub your eyes a lot, like it can worsen the condition, which I do constantly.
Yes, you do.
There's a reason like I have black circles around my eyes. I'm constantly rubbing them.
Yes.
Um, but yeah. So anyway, it seems like everything's fine. I do have to go for another test within a year to check
Hmm.
like to see if it's progressing, but it's usually supposed to finish up by the time you're 25, and essentially like the only real effect that it causes is that I and maybe people with this disorder or disease can tell me more about it because I'm obviously very new to it. But like, your vision is kind of hard to focus at times, and like can be
Mm.
kind of blurry in instances. And it's
Right.
something that basically glasses can't fix. Like,
Oh, that sucks.
the only real solution to this, even I don't even know if it necessarily fixes it, is to have like a cornea surgery. Um,
And is that worth it?
for me, probably not.
Yeah,
Right now, probably not. If it gets worse,
definitely
the
not.
optometrist said I'd probably have to. It's probably something I want to look at, but like,
Well,
again, it seems like we're fine. Um,
okay. I love that. Well,
yeah,
welcome to the glasses community, and glad that you were able to ignore an entire degenerative disease that you were experiencing in your life.
it's so fucking stupid, dude. That is peak me though.
I was just
Like,
about to say that is like the most you story though I have ever heard in my entire life.
just ignore an entire, like, my eyes have been worsening for like 7 or 8 years, and I've been going hard to the paint in ignoring it.
We, at the end of the day, we do have to remember that your roots lie into the island of people ignoring their bodies and going to the hospital because why would they do that when they could just go and die in the woods? So
That is very true, unfortunately. Yeah, optimal death, having a heart attack hunting moose at the age of 75. Like,
literally,
yeah.
like at least they died happy and hopefully hitting their target.
As long as you fire the shot before you fall to the ground.
That's all that matters. You got to feed the family.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, before we get started, is yeah, how's life going for you? Anything you wanted to quickly chat about before we hop in?
I don't know, man. Life's been kind of crazy. I just started another job, so I am literally nonstop now. But also exciting because money. But with that being said, as a little like, what I'm up to on like the social medias and such, and like Substack and things related to this little podcast here. I did not post anything at all last month, but this month I am coming out with my little consumption list to coincide with this episode
Mm,
for March and April. I'm hoping to have that done and out by the end of soon, anyways. It should be out by the time we have this posted. And I have a really sad personal essay that I'm going to post because why not? Let's be vulnerable because I am good at anything. It's writing about sad shit that I'm hoping to have posted this month as well. So that's very exciting.
fuck yeah.
Yeah. How about yourself?
I mean,
Anything new and exciting?
do you do the thing that I do where I write sad personal essays on my Substack and then they're just forever saved in drafts, never to be posted?
Well, see, Substack is so new to me,
Mm,
so it's
right.
a lot of it's just hidden away in my journals of like
Mm.
commonplace where I'm like, I'm gonna write out these things, and it's like, wow, I should publish these, and then I just leave them in there forever. Um, and so all the new ideas are now popping up, and I'm putting them in my Substack drafts, and then it's slowly just like rotting away in there. Maybe one day I'll wipe the dust off and send them off.
It's actually for the historians. It's for when you're
Exactly.
like, yeah, the most famous person on earth, and you die, and then everybody has to see, like, why did Ken think that way?
Yeah. See, what's probably going to happen too is I'm going to die not famous at all. And then all of a sudden like we're going to become the most popular like writers of like our generation because
Mm.
we are just who we are.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very funny. I had a drunken conversation about that exactly like 3 nights ago with someone.
Oh,
Uh,
to have a legacy for when we die and people finally like actually see the shit that we write. What a great day.
yeah, yeah, they're gonna go back, see this podcast, and be like, "Wow, they really thought the boys from Heated Rivalry were hot, huh?"
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's pretty great, 10 out of 10 research, thoughts, and critical thinking skills on this show here today.
They're gonna show us at fucking university lecture halls, man. Uh,
Literally.
yeah, I mean, yeah, on my end, Substack wise, very similarly. Definitely by the time this comes out, I'll have my May dump of media
Mhm.
things out. Um, I plan on posting that tonight. It's what, May 4th. Holy fuck! Is it May
Yeah.
4th? May the 4th be with you.
Happy May 4th. May the
Yeah,
4th be with you.
I gotta text that to my dad. He'll cry if I don't. Um,
That's fair.
but yeah, no, that's about it on my end. That way, I think. I'm just kind of
I
like
love
plugging
that.
away at stuff, really.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You do be working hard and every day.
yeah. But I mean, to get into it, yeah. I mean, we have a laundry list of shit to talk about.
We do.
Um, and first, we discussed this before the show. We kind of want to get into some of our recommendations, but we're going to save the big one for last. Um,
It's true. Return of the King is important. And with all of our viewers so intensely listening, we have to make them wait until the end, to kind of stay for the reason why they're back. To know if you truly do love Lord of the Rings and specifically how you feel about Return of the King.
yeah. Spoiler alert. I fucking hate Return of the King. I fucking hate Lord of the Rings.
There you go. We'll get
Tolkien
into it later.
Tolkien sucks.
You're going to make a lot of people mad.
I'm rage farming. It's fine. It's okay.
I'm the whole point. Gotta get it up.
But yeah, I mean to start, yeah. I recommended you two albums last month.
You
Two
did. You
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah, you recommended to me. I used to go to this bar by Joyce Manor, and you recommended to me "No Need to Be Lonely" by Gladie. I listened to both of them. Honestly, the Gladie album was out of my two, like just the one that I jived with the most. I listened to it actually a good couple of times
Mhm.
after you recommended it to me. It's a fantastic album. It reminds me of a lot of you recommended it to me because it's the type of music I like, but it reminded me a lot of specifically Church Girls, who's a pretty cool band, very similar sound, especially in voice. And also this band called Hospital Bracelet. They have
Mm.
literally one EP that came out in like 2020, 2021, that I love to bits, and they have yet to release anything else, and I'm so sad. So Gladdy kind of being added to this pocket of music is really nice. Um, my two favorite songs from that album was Poison and Unfolding. The line "Nothing" or "Nostalgia's just fool's gold" has been ingrained and like stuck in my brain. It was just such a like, oh yeah, this hits, baby. Let's go.
Oh yeah, yeah. That line in particular is one that really stuck with me. But I mean, that's
And
yeah,
the closer of the album too, like it's what a way to like just put like seal it all together and just have a nice finishing touch. Like it's awesome.
yeah,
Um,
100%. I do want to correct one
y-
thing I said last time when I recommended this. I fucked it up. I said that they were from California. They're not. They're from Philly. I want to say.
okay,
I think
that makes a lot more sense,
a little more
honestly,
sense,
just
like
with the type of
tonally.
music. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, they kind of had that like, I don't know. When talking about genres, it's difficult because what is genre? We can have that conversation all day, but they give that Midwest emo vibe, but like it's also like there's women involved as well, so that adds a different kind of tone to it. But I don't know, like it's definitely in that realm of emo.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's within that like interesting like rock
Garage,
punk
rock,
kind of emo space that like
grunge.
yeah, like a lot of bands are kind of falling into there right now. Like they're not
Yeah,
specifically one thing. They're just like a mixture of all their influences, this amalgamation of sounds. Um
yeah, which is
yeah.
beautiful, and I love to kind of, as somebody who wants to abolish a lot of categorizations, I
Mhm.
think the abolishment of genre is also a beautiful thing. And
Certainly.
so people starting to like not care about what genre is and just making the music that they want to make is beautiful to me.
Absolutely, yeah. One yeah, there's a lot of cool things I could say about this record. Like I think some of the tracks you picked out are also some of my favorites as well. I love the song Future Spring. I love Blurry.
Mm,
The song Car Alarm was released as a single beforehand, I think, and that one was one I was listening to for a good while. Um,
nice.
and yeah, like the lead up to this album, essentially, for me was like me and Meg discovered. I hate using that word, but it's the one I'm going to use.
Mm,
Gladie. 6 or 7 months ago, maybe, and this album came out
okay.
last month. Or in March, sorry. Um, and so we listened to their first album like quite a bit. because it again like just like check the boxes for our music taste kind of deal. And then we learned that this album was going to be produced by the one and only Jeff Rosenstock.
Oh, right. This is the one produced by Jeff.
Yeah,
Makes also a lot of sense.
yeah, certainly.
Absolutely. Like I can hear his influence in that for sure.
100%, yeah. And like he wrote a Substack post about like what it meant to him to kind of produce this, because it really been, I think he says it, and correct me if I'm wrong, internet, but like I'm pretty sure he says it's the first album he's produced of someone else's in like a really long time. So he's kind of had to like figure out what it meant to produce an album to him. Like, and for him, I think he basically boils down to like just ensuring that like the character of this band, who he's obviously very close with, like it shines through as much as possible. Like their uniqueness, their style, but also like just their friendship generally. And like
Mhm.
I feel like that all conveys really well. Like they play really well together. The fucking lyricism on this album in particular, unmatched.
Crazy.
Unmatched.
I love it.
There's like up
Like,
yeah, sorry, go on.
no, you keep going.
Okay, yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, there is a I feel like there's a problem with this weird genre of music. Again, whatever genre doesn't matter,
Mhm.
but like the kind of like emo rock punk sound that's, because people are picking up on and have been for a while. That like lyrically sometimes it's a bit like flat, or maybe like
Yeah.
a bit too dry, or like even just I kind of hate using the word now, but cringe, right? Like it's
Yeah.
maybe, and that's fine. Like that absolutely works because like it's music about your fucking feelings. Like it's gonna
Yeah.
be a little hard to
It's gonna
listen to.
feel cringe. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I feel like Gladie has done the best job in a while, from what like the music I've listened to in this particular space, of like boiling down those feelings in a way while also still making it like absolutely poetic. Like you know
No, I fully agree. And I think like when it comes to like the flatness of lyrics, I think it's because of how accessible this sound is to people. And so people who really like this sound and like this vibe, a lot of times they get into it for the music itself, not necessarily for the lyrics. So it is like not saying that they're bad lyricists or that like they don't whatever, but it sometimes can fall flat because there's none of that like poetic language and things like that. But I really think that Gladie like really brought it all together. And it's just like everything from sound production to how the band sounds together to her voice to the lyrics. Like it's just, I just think all around it's a great album. And thank you for sharing it with me.
No, yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it. The lyrics that stick
Mhm.
out in my mind. I mean, you mentioned one of them, but the other one is a small dose of humiliation. It keeps me humble. I think it keeps me waiting. I think it's the line. Uh,
Something like that. Yeah.
yeah, and like I don't know, that is constantly like just repeating in my head.
Yeah.
It's yeah,
It's good. It's
it's
nice when,
amazing.
because I don't know about you, but like most of the time with music, I am more of a sound person. Like I care more about how it sounds, even how the lyrics sound comparatively to like what the song is saying. But when there are good lyrics and it does hit and it's just ingrained into your entire being, like the most beautiful feeling in the world, and I love it. So
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like, yeah, like
mm,
I'm very much like that, especially nowadays. Like, I find myself drifting towards sound over like the specific word choice. But I mean, the word choice matters with the sound, obviously, right? Like the whether it comes
exactly.
to the syllables or just the tone or whatever the hell. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, I'm really glad you like this. I do want to quickly talk about the Joyce Manor record though. So you gave that a
Yeah.
listen as well, eh?
I did, and I liked a lot. I think I didn't have anything downloaded by them in my library, but I do think I have listened to them before.
Yeah,
The name of the band sounds familiar, and also just their tone sounds so familiar. Not that it's because I listen to this type of music all the time, but like specifically this band sounds familiar. I only listened to it a couple times, but that's just because it wasn't the type of music I was really listening to that month. But
sure.
I really like the song "Opossum." A, love possums. B, the opening of it, just the way that like that trill works through. I don't know. I just think it's a really fun song.
Yeah,
But
absolutely. Yeah.
please tell me more about it.
So yeah, I'm not a huge Joyce Manor head, so I won't go like too deep into like what they are, who they are, but they are like a band from California who uh, have been ongoing for Jesus maybe 2 decades now, if not
Holy
that,
shit.
pretty close. Yeah, yeah, and they're very much in that like punk emo scene and have been for a long time. very much kind of. Uh, I would say they're probably DIY. Like again, I don't know enough about them, but I'm pretty sure they've been in that scene. And
Yes.
you've
That's
definitely,
probably why I've heard them before.
yeah. So I would say the reason you probably heard them or where you heard them was probably just it came up on a playlist because that's how I found them.
Yeah.
Their song "Constant Headache" appears on like so many of those like rock playlists from
Mm.
like the 2010s. From my
Okay.
experience. Um, but yeah, so Joyce Manor is really interesting in that there a lot of their music, a lot of their albums are like 15 minutes long.
Damn. Yeah.
They very much focus on and their albums, right? Like they don't call them EPs or anything. Like they're usually like
Yeah.
10 tracks or so. Um, but they I guess it's just like the way they make music, they just want everything to be as concise as possible and they obviously like they are hard in the cutting room floor. They have to be. Um,
Yeah.
but what we get are like these really like condensed like emo rock tracks that are just like subtly destroying you
Yeah.
throughout.
They remind me a little bit of in the way that their music is structured a little bit, they remind me of like Tiny Moving Parts.
Yes.
I don't know if you know them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, because I think their albums are usually longer than that, but they also work very well with like short condensed songs. Like not a lot of their songs are over like the 2 minute and 30-second mark, like
Yeah.
just like that powerful, like boom, here it is. But I think Joyce Manor has that tinge of like breaking your heart and like getting into like the more deeper sadness a lot better than Tiny Moving Parts does. They just hit you with that like oh, what's one of my favorite Tiny Parts lyrics? It's something about I want the pillow to eat my teeth or something like that. I can't
Mm.
remember, but I'm just like, yeah,
Fuck
that
yeah.
type of stuff. But it's like, wow, that's a big sentence. Whereas Joyce Manor, it's just kind of like a little like a dagger in like the side of your in your side kind of thing.
It takes you a minute to notice that it's yeah been inserted.
Yeah, you're like, what was this? Well, I'm bleeding. Why am I dying?
Exactly. But yeah, no, and like I feel like this like batch of tracks, this album in particular, is very much focused on, you know, in my opinion anyway, from my time listening to it, like a lot of it's about change and aging and like stuff that is relatable to me right now, I feel in some ways. Especially like I talked about the eye thing earlier, but like holy fuck, this week was like one of like, oh my god, I'm actually getting old. Is that a thing
Yeah,
that happens?
yeah. Oh, I think in different ways, but like, yeah, I've been feeling that as well. Like
Mm-hmm.
I was telling you before we started recording, I went to a drag show and like I walked downtown because I'm about like a 45-minute walk away from downtown. So I was like, forget, I'll just walk downtown so I can like have a little smoke and have a beer and like not worry about driving and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Had literally one beer, walked back, and I still woke up feeling like shit. I was like, I used to be able to down like whole bottles of wine and wake up the next morning five. Like, what's wrong
Absolutely.
with me?
Absolutely. It's so wild to me. I'm still getting over that. Like I had two or three beer the other night when I went to see a show, and then I came back and I felt like I was like wasted. I was like,
Which is
what?
crazy for you too, because you used to be able to pull that down. Like
Easily.
you can go all night.
Absolutely. No, not anymore.
No.
After the
And do you know
second
what?
beer at the bar, I was like, ah, no, I'm cutting myself off. I'm good. Um,
And do you know what? Proud of us. You know
yeah,
what?
it
There's
saves you
some
money.
good things about aging, and maybe we shouldn't be drinking that much, you know?
Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe it's not great for you. But like, it's just so weird because like, you know, and again, this is like shit. I feel like the album touches on, especially with tracks like, you know, all I used to go to this bar, like the title track, like very
Mhm.
obviously, but like just this, you know, life is constantly moving forward, and that's very fucking scary, and that's very weird because like at one moment everything is like kind of set in place and everything feels fine, and then the next moment for some reason or another like it so isn't
Something's
at
just
all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's crazy, and, it's really cool, and I love it when albums can really express that. Because I mean, like, I don't know, man, we're what, 27,
Mm.
and, like, we're on the cusp of our 30s, and we've gone through so much change over in the last, like, I don't know about you, but like, well, I know about you, but like my 20s have been insane, and I feel like I'm only now just starting to like quote unquote settle. And
Yeah.
still I'm afraid for that like rug to be pulled under of like things are still going to change 10 times more, and I'm just waiting for that to happen. Like,
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, yeah, no, I absolutely relate to that because like I've talked about this already publicly, but like I started like taking medication for ADHD last year, and like
mm,
fucking I actually like started trying to get my shit together like health wise, like working out and everything, and like it's so weird to look back on the last like decade of adulthood and be like, wow, I just wasn't like doing any of this. Like it felt like in a lot of ways like I wasn't in control of anything, but at the time I
yeah.
absolutely believed that I was. And I don't know, this
Yeah.
this album just brings up a lot of those feelings for me. It's really interesting.
I love that. I'm gonna have to give it a couple more listens too, because like I said, I only listened to it like a couple of times, but like summer's coming, so it perfectly fits
Mm,
into this playlist that I call emo boy. So like I'll just throw it in there with my like American football, modern baseball, like
yeah.
tiny moving parts, like all that shit.
Oh, it's gonna be a great summer listen. I'm excited.
Yeah, awesome.
You did give me a music recommendation as well.
I did.
That is gonna be a lot of fun to chat about. It's one that like you with the Joyce Manor album, I gave this maybe 2 listens all the way through. I do have some
Yeah.
notes that I can
Yes.
definitely go over. But I mean, just to start, do you want to give me like a background on it's Violet by LS Dunes, I believe is
Yes,
the name.
it is. So I found LS Dunes through MyChem because the guitarist for LS Dunes is Frank Iero, and I have to look up the names of the other artists in the band real quick because I never remember because haven't listened to any of them. But it's basically like a rock supergroup of a bunch of different band members coming together. Um, so it's hold on. The
Yeah, no
members
worries.
are Anthony Green, Frank Iero, Travis Stever, Tim Payne, and Tucker Rule. So Circa Survive, Sosin, and the Sounds of Animals Fighting. Those are the bands, including My Chemical Romance and co-head the Cambria. Um, and the band Thursday. So like it's a bunch of these different like well-known rock bands that are just coming are like uh rockers that just came together and started making different projects. And this was their most recent one. It came out in 2025. Um, and I don't know. I just love the vibe that they brought together and like
Mm-hmm.
the sound that they've all culminated in. It's this like it gets so heavy, but in the same time, there's a lot of airiness to it. And yeah, I want to know your thoughts about it.
So that is the one, like that's the biggest takeaway I had from the album was like it's a amazing fusion of all these different sounds and rock music over the last like 20 years. Like you have those like more metal moments. You obviously have like kind of like those screaming vocals at points, but also a lot of it is like you do have like these glitzier rock moments and like some of
Yeah.
this like a dose of emo in there sometimes. And I can definitely see like if you didn't tell me that this was from a rock supergroup, I probably still would have guessed that because of all of these different like sounds coming together.
It's so technically well done that like you have to assume that it's people who have been, if not in the industry, have been doing music their entire lives.
100%, without a doubt. Yeah, I wrote in my notes. It's like the best elements of all of the rock from the 2010s.
Yeah,
Like,
I
yeah,
fully agree with that.
yeah, you have a lot of that alt stuff. You have some indie stuff. You have again that more metal side of things. Um,
Yeah. And
yeah.
no, I was just gonna say, and like something that I love too is how the album starts because it starts with like magic and it starts off with just that vocal and it's just his vocals and then it goes right into I don't know. It's
So
just
cool.
I just think it's so good and I think that's such a smart way to start that album because you don't know what to expect and with it being rock, you almost expect something heavy to just hit you in the head and they're just like, no, we're gonna ease you into this and kind of let it flow through the whole album.
Yeah, there is a progressiveness to it all. You know, there's definitely songs in the album, moments on the album that feel to me like they're Um, they're kind of up and down. Like they're sorry, I'm losing my words here a little bit, but they're very much coming in moments, and it definitely has that like. I mean, it genuinely reminded me of like some of Dream Theater's output in the 2000s in some ways.
Yeah,
Like not sonically all the way, but like just
there's parts.
yeah, how it comes in moments in particular. Um,
Mm,
yeah, no, there were a couple tracks like I picked off of this one that I will definitely go into some playlists. Like I really liked Fatal Deluxe. I had the lyric, I think it's just sure enough. Like kind of
yeah,
repeating in my head for a while. That was catchy as
so
hell.
good. Me too.
I really enjoyed that. The guitar work on this album. I mean, surprise, surprise, it's fucking amazing. Like it very much like takes on these different
Yeah.
tones at different points, and it's so
The
fucking amazing.
the two guitarists is Frank and then Travis Stever from Coheed and Cambria. So
Yeah.
again, I don't know much about Coheed and Cambria, but like I I can't speak enough to Frank and his guitar skills. I love him in all of his projects beyond just My Chemical Romance. Like his album Stitches with Frank Iero and the Celebrations is one of my favorite albums of all time. Like there's just a certain sound that Frank always provides that I just think is rad.
Hmm.
And as soon as I heard like some of the guitar bits, every once in a while I'm like, yeah, Frank, you wrote that one, didn't you? Like,
You could just tell, eh?
yeah.
I'm just gonna pull up the track list right quick on my end because I want to see. There were a couple other songs that I really enjoyed. Um, I really liked Violet. Violet was another favorite.
Yes.
Um, and I want to say I really liked Things I Thought Would Last Forever.
Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was just a great album all around. Like there were the percussion was another moment that I was like, oh yeah, this is very metal. Like in some ways, like it just felt that way to me. Um,
Hmm.
uh, and yeah, no, I don't know. It was fascinating to listen to.
Right. And like like because we were talking, I talked to you about it a little bit before, but like even when it's like sometimes it's hard to like pick out the songs because it just has such a really good cohesion in how the
Yeah.
whole album flows that you sometimes even forget that you're moved on to the next song. So like as you were saying them, it's like it's not that I don't know the song, it's just I could be thinking about Paper Tigers flowing into Things That I Thought Would Last Forever kind of situation. Like
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
kind of sometimes hard to see when one song ends and when the other does. And when it comes to albums, I do personally love that because I love just getting like absorbed into an album. And like if it can just go cyclical and never stop and I can't tell, like I love it.
Yeah, and I mean, I that's yeah one of my favorite things about albums. Like I know I said I would probably throw a couple of these tracks on a playlist, but genuinely, I'm not a playlist listener. I'm an album listener, 100%. If I'm gonna
I am
listen to
too.
an album,
Right.
like yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
I throw that shit on, and like that's what I'm listening to. Um,
Yes.
and this feels like a great album for that.
Yeah. It's one that I would like to get for my record collection, honestly,
Mm.
because it would be I think it would be a really good vinyl to have.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, there's no doubt. That would sound amazing on vinyl. I can only imagine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was awesome.
Awesome.
Thank you for that recommendation. I'm gonna listen to the first album too. I think
Yeah,
I might dug
I
that one a little bit.
yeah, I think I've only listened to it once, but it's one that I need to dive myself into as well.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, thank you for that. That was very nice.
No, no problem. It's nice that I'm proud of us for taking those recommendations and actually going through them. Because I don't know about you, but people will recommend me things all the time. And I'm like, yeah, I will listen. And then it's like 3 months later, and they're like, did you ever listen to that album after? I'm like, yeah, I
All the time.
did.
Literally 2 days
Right.
ago. Nick recommended me like some game called Atomic Crops. He literally bought it for me and it's in my Steam library. And he like 2 weeks ago, and he looked at me while I was at his place over the weekend. He was like, "Have you played that yet?" No.
No, dude. No,
Sorry.
no. I've been so busy. I've been playing my one comfort game that I go to every evening because what else am I supposed to do? You know?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I picked something off the floor. Yeah, no.
How
Like
dare.
that's my thing too. It's like, oh, I could play this new game, or I could mauled at Street Fighter for an hour. I'm gonna mauled.
Yeah.
I want to
Like,
mauled instead.
why wouldn't you? You know?
Yeah. So
But yeah.
Okay, so I want to get into this next one. This one has like a bit of history, I think, maybe a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yes.
Do you want to go for it?
Yeah. So back in, oh, it was right before we moved to Halifax. So 2022, I remember because we were in Harvey at the time, I believe.
Yep.
But we watched for the first time, both of us watched the Dead Poet Society.
It was late one night.
Am I saying it?
Like it
It
was,
was late one night.
yeah,
I think wine was involved,
one was
and we
definitely
said,
involved.
let's watch this movie. And you and I came out of it two different ways. You got out of it traumatized and never wanting to watch it again because it really messed you up.
It was emotionally
And I
devastating.
came emotionally. It is. I love that movie so much, but exactly, I came out of it emotionally devastated, traumatized, and said, "Cool." So now every single year, I'm going to get this feeling, and I'm like, I'm going to have to watch this movie again. And to this day, at least once a year, I watch that movie. I get into a very specific part of like a pit of emotion, and I'm like, I need to watch this movie to both feel sad and also to like remind myself of like the point of living life.
I find it
So
hilarious how we both had like distinct takeaway. I'm never watching this again. I'm watching this on repeat once every fucking year.
yeah, yeah. You saw oh, I can't remember the actor's name, but you basically saw Dr. Wilson um take his own life and you said, "Okay, cool. I don't want to think about that anymore."
Yep.
Like
Yep. No, that fucking yeah, that hit me like a truck.
yeah, which oh man, it's so impactful in the film and like I just love that movie. I think it's discussion around like what it means to live and the point of conforming and like why we learn to like think for ourselves and all that stuff. I just think it's beautiful and it's one of the first of like Robin Williams's serious roles that I've ever really watched.
Yeah.
Um I mean, growing up, the age that we did, of course, Robin Williams has infected all of our media, but I watched a lot of his comedies, Doubtfire, Aladdin, all that type of stuff. Never really any of the serious roles. So finally seeing him in this one and watching it post his death, like I was just like, I don't know, it just struck me with just such a like, I don't know, I just loved it so much and it just warmed my heart to see him in that role. But point is, I love this movie a lot, as we've stated, and I'll watch it yearly. And I reached the point the other day where I've been in a reading slump, and I have a shit ton of books that I've been wanting to read, and I haven't been able to read anything. And something that's been on my list for a really long time is the novelization of Dead Poet Society. So I said, uh, Indigo, search, search. Oh, you have it, and it's like $14. Cool. I'm gonna go and buy it, and I'm gonna read it. And I saw how short it was, and I was like, even better. First things first, I want to say about this. Before I got it, I was assuming that it was then the movie was an adaptation of the book, but it's actually the exact opposite. This book is an adaptation of the film. The film came out
Oh.
first, and then they decided to come out with a novelization of it.
Okay. I That's interesting. I did not know that.
Yes, yes. So it was written by N.H. Kleinbaum, and it's based on the motion picture written by Tom Schulman. And it came out like shortly after, like the copyright for it is 1989.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, that would be right
so
around the
like
time.
it was like soon after like it came out. So I'm assuming it was a part of like the like promotion stuff.
Hmm.
I think I gave this book a 3 stars on like my Goodreads and stuff. It is word for word the script of the book or of the movie, sorry. Like it goes through all of the scenes, it goes through every little bit of it. It expands on a couple of scenes. Like I know they're at the end from when Neil's play, like when he performs A Midsummer Night's Dream, and then like all the way to the end. They did a couple of things. They expanded like on a couple of things here and there, but that was pretty much it. Other than that, it was pretty true to the script. But my beef with this book is how bland the narration is and how bland the like tone, like the voice of the narrator is. They said, he said, Knox rose. Neil handed him the book. Knox found another page and read. Like, there's no, for a book that is about sucking the bone marrow out of life, it is so dry and has nothing. Like, there's no
Oh.
poeticness to it other than what was already written as dialogue. So it, to me, like, it just took out all of like, because with film, like, you have like your acting and like your actors who put in that emotion, and when it comes to, a book, you need the author's voice to, or the narrator's voice to bring that to life. And I was just so like disappointed that that didn't shine through like at all until like the very end, because it's an emotional thing, and how they bounce from like the boys in the cave celebrating Neil to Neil making that decision of what to do with his life because he knows that he's trapped. And like, that was really good, and that was really emotional, and I liked that. But that was like it. Everything else was just straight up as is. So,
Mhm.
not a bad book, but disappointing that like there's no poetry to it at all. Like, about, this is about the romantics, for Christ's sake. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's literally the film is about like the power of art. And then the book
yeah.
is like it sounds to me like a slop book made for marketing. No offense.
And that's honestly what it is. And like, I found it so interesting because a lot of people talk about like book versus movie, and like there's always a constant conversation about adaptation now and stuff like that. And to see it in reverse, you'd think like, oh, well, they already have so much, so they can like add, like, especially with this book, it's like we can get deeper into like Neil's thought process, or
Mhm.
specifically, oh, what's Ethan Hawke's name in that, in the movie?
I didn't know Ethan Hawke was in it.
Yeah,
What?
he's the shy one.
Oh, that's
Todd.
hilarious.
Todd
Okay.
Anderson.
Yeah.
That was his first, that was Ethan Hawke's first ever role.
Oh fuck.
Was this one.
Wild.
But like, or like getting more into Todd's head because he's so shy. We don't get a lot of him, so let's get more of him. Or like, but nah, they just, it was straight up just write this for the movie and then call it a day. And
Oh.
it's a little bit disappointing, to say the least. Like, it opens up just as simple as inside the stone chapel of Welton Academy, a private school nestled in the remote hills of Vermont. More than 300 boys, all wearing the academy blazer, sat on either side of the long aisle, surrounded by proud faced parents, and waited. They heard, like, it's just so, like, it's descriptive, but
Yeah.
it's such simple, plain description.
Yeah, you're not it does not sound at all flowery, which is like again, like half the point. Um
Yeah,
yeah, it feels like it's kind of like this book is that institutionalized approach that like the movie is fighting against.
exactly. So that just makes it more infuriating because it's like, cool. Not only do, like, at the end of the day, it's a capitalist venture, so they have control of the narrative, but you're really putting that point home, and I kind of hate that even more. Now, will I still read this when I'm in a reading slump and I need a narrative that I'm comfortable with and familiar with? Yeah. And it does the bland writing make that a little bit easier to go through because it will be an easy read. Yeah. But does that still make me mad? A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, understandably, especially because you're such a big fan of the film. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's hard
Well,
not to be upset at that.
it's just like you had Robin, like, you're writing based off of a Robin Williams character, and all you can say is that John Keating looked out the window. Like, all you can say is that he felt sad, or like whatever, or like he flushed. Like, that's literally all you can say on the matter. Like, you were given a performance to write off of. Like,
Mhm.
do something with it.
Yeah, like that sucks. That sucks.
Yeah.
I think you told me that you were about to read it, or it was on your list or something at some point. And like
Mm,
again, like like you figured, like I just assumed it came before the movie because like why the fuck
yeah.
wouldn't it? But like to hear that even just the fact that it came after the movie, like that already kind of had me suspicious. But then to hear
Yep.
that, like, yeah, I kind of stripped back, like, the subtleties of the movie in terms of like its theming and everything, like, in not embodying all of that in the writing, like,
It's just frustrating. Yeah.
that
It's just
sucks.
really disappointing because it's like, as much as we have the power of like film, we also have the power of writing that has been the first and most, prominent thing that we've had. And you have a movie all
Yeah.
about it, and you can't even, I don't know, you can't even dictate it through your words on a book.
Yeah,
And
I
like
mean, yeah,
again, it was written well. Like, it's no shade against Kleinbaum. I'm also sure Kleinbaum was like given a shit ton of money to be able to write this.
sure.
And so like it was just like a sweet, I'm just gonna do this then and go and get my money and go. That's fine too. Pay
Yeah.
your writers, but like, damn.
It just, yeah, in terms of like a work of art,
Yes.
not great.
No.
No,
Unfortunately not.
that
But we
sucks.
do still have the movie, thank God.
Yes, I will never watch it again. Great movie.
No. And that's okay. Do you know what? Because I will watch it for you.
Okay.
Now I'll watch it 2 times a year.
Really funny.
Right?
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
there we go. But
Awesome.
that was me on Dead Poet Society. I know that you just finished watching season 1 of Frieren and wanted to talk about that.
I do. I do. Yeah, before the show, I did ask you whether or not you've seen Frieren before, and I was like, I'm a little surprised to hear you haven't, because I know that this is something that is like gonna be so up your alley. Like, so yeah. Do you know anything about Frieren?
So I will say about Frieren, it's been on my radar ever since I think the first season started airing. Because you're right, it is right up my alley. It's just the last, like, I'd say the last year, anime has just not been my top priority, except for like keeping up with One Piece,
Yeah.
because that doesn't count. But like, I just haven't been watching a lot of anime. I've been watching a lot of live action stuff. But Freeren's been on my radar, so I know that it's about this elf, because it's like a very like, not D&D, but like it's that very like
Yeah.
fantasy, like basic kind of situation. And I know that it's following this elf, and it follows like her life of immortality. So it's flashing back to like a party that she really loved, and then also like going through life. And like that's pretty much like the gist of what I know. I know that
Hmm.
it goes to a flashback to a really important group to her while she's probably being in a new group or like dealing with life in the quote unquote current time. So like, yeah,
Yeah.
tell
So
me all about it.
yeah, 100%. You're basically spot on. So basically, the way I've explained this premise to people is that it's like, um, the start of the anime is basically, okay, we just finished the game of Dragon Quest. The Demon Lord is defeated. That has been done. Now what comes after? Well, everything after
Right.
that for the person who does not live 80 years, lives pretty much through eternity, like for
Mhm.
millennia. And like you follow the character Frieren, and like her, she, like I said, like she lives for basically forever, not actually, but like basically. And she
As elves
sees,
do.
yeah, she sees time in like such little blips that like she could spend 50 years like researching this book or reading this book or like researching a spell or something, and that doesn't matter to her. Like to her, that
Mhm.
is just like her everyday. um
Yeah.
but with that, again, the most like monumental portion of her life was this 10-year span of her hanging out with basically her Dragon Quest 3 party, the hero Himmel, the warrior Eisen, the they call him the corrupt priest because he's an alcoholic, Hider, um and like them going on adventures, doing side quests, doing whatever the hell, all to eventually confront the Demon King and defeat him.
Right.
um and yeah, the show basically follows everything after that point, and a lot of it is like you said, it's this flashback. It flashes back a lot to like Frieren's journey with Himmel in the group, as she is like making new relationships. She, a lot of it to in the beginning is like her visiting these heroes or like who are on like death's door, and like, in ways kind of just like helping them get their uh like everything arranged before they die. um
Oh.
and I think the first 2 episodes of the show made me cry like 4 times. Genuinely
Yeah, that's, I've heard this is a
killed
this
me.
is a tearjerker of a show.
This is one of the most emotional shows I've ever fucking watched. Like, it kills me. Every fucking line of dialogue hits me like a goddamn truck.
That's good.
It's real good. And yeah, so from then on, like for the rest of the series, as far as I'm aware so far, having watched the first season, like she kind of forms a new party, and basically their entire goal is to like retrace the steps of the hero's journey, essentially, to yeah, to non-spoiler way. Um
Yeah.
and yeah, it's just like a lot of flashbacks to like that journey, while also like Frieren, again, this like person who doesn't really know how to form relationships and how relationships work, learning how they work through these flashbacks
Mhm.
with like moments she's had in the past with her previous party, and like applying that to like the situations of today. And like, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of like anime hype moments and shit. Like there's gonna be
Oh, yeah.
like there's mage fights and dragons being killed. A lot of this, like you said, D&D shit. It's very D&D.
Yeah.
Um but the best moments are the ones where Frieren is like learning how to be a person. Like be a social being. Um
That's like so sweet.
and it honestly, like, basically my journey with the show is essentially like I watched the first 2 or 3 episodes maybe about a year ago, and I
Mhm.
knew this show was for me. Like I immediately knew like I love this show, and then
Yeah.
I didn't continue watching it because I'm
Sometimes
stupid.
it's scary though,
It is. Yeah.
especially with a show like this where you know it's going to be like so emotionally vulnerable. Because like that's another thing. That's another reason why I think I haven't been able to start pre-run is because of that emotional depth, and especially that whole like journey of like learning how to be like a person and socialize, like very much as an introvert, like that sometimes really hits. Um,
Yeah.
and so like every single time I'm like, I don't know if I'm in a place where I can take that and not get super sad. So let's go, let's watch something else.
Yeah, and I think Freerun does it in a really great way, because obviously there is a lot of like melancholy and
Yeah.
sadness, but it's a lot of it is also like really hopeful. Like there's always some positivity there that like kind of keeps you going. It doesn't feel like dreadfully depressing at any point.
Okay.
Um
That's good to know.
but you're absolutely right. I think that's maybe why I kind of steered clear of it for a year or so. But
Mhm.
then like I was kind of bored playing Pokemon on the couch, and me and Meg were just like, we want to throw something on. I was like, fuck it, you know what? I'm gonna start Freerun again. Like I really want to watch this, and this was probably like 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago. And last
Yeah.
night I binged like the last half of the series. It was just fantastic. Like it's one of those shows that I don't have any notes for. Like there's nothing I can see it doing better than what it already's doing. Like this is like it do you ever have those moments where you're watching something, you're reading something, and you're like, fuck, I wish I thought of that.
Yeah.
That is the entirety of Freerun for me. I'm like, why couldn't I have thought about this and wrote it myself? Like I'm pissed.
Yeah.
Like this is
Oh, that's
brilliant.
awesome. Like, this sounds like it's up there with, like, you know, like, when you think about, like, the especially in, like, anime terms, like, of, like, the best written things, like Full Metal.
Yeah,
You know, like, it's
100%.
just like, there's nothing to say about it. It's just a good piece of art that somebody made and is luckily and we're just lucky enough that it was able to be put into production and be shared with us, like
Yeah, 100%. That's honestly the only comparison I've been able to make to it. I'm like, this is the most like Full Metal Alchemist. Like everything hinges on the emotions of these characters, and I'm like, fuck yeah, this is what I want out of
that's
like
awesome.
this anime right now. Yeah, and
Yeah.
and and like I totally like I have not been keeping up with anime that much lately, because I just like I don't really care. I don't really care about what's
No.
going on, you know. Um,
Mm,
I've either already read it in manga form, like with Don Don or Chainsaw Man or whatever, or I've like it just does not pique my interest. So
yeah.
to have this show that, albeit the first season came out a couple years ago, I think the second season's now airing. Um, like it's just nice to see. I'm gonna be sad for when it kind of concludes too, because I don't know what else I'm gonna I'm gonna someone's gonna have to recommend me something like it, because I need more of this in my life, I think.
Yeah, that's good to know, and also a very convincing argument for it. Is it like a is it a short series? Like, is the manga already done, or is this going to be like a pretty decent length? Do you know anything about that?
So chapter wise, I want to say that the manga is in about the 120s. It started in 2020. It is currently on hiatus,
Mm,
unfortunately, because I think that the authors, I think there's a writer and an artist, or there might be two writers. I'm not exactly sure what the situation is there. But it is on hiatus due to like health concerns with the mangaka, which sucks. It happens.
yeah.
What can you do?
Mm,
Um, but so far they have enough material for probably, from what I can guess, maybe 3 seasons of TV, 3 or 4. Uh,
mhm.
and it's gonna be one of those things I'm just gonna watch the anime for. I think, you
Yeah.
know, I'm really loving the anime, so I'll
You
stick with
wouldn't
it.
read it at all.
I think I'm good. Like, I think I'll just stick with
You
the
get
anime.
what you want out of it through the anime.
Yeah, 100%. Like the art style is fantastic, and like I'm loving watching it in particular. Like it's just a very beautiful show as well, right?
Okay. I love that.
Yeah.
Cool.
So that's Frieren. High recommend, big time. Fantastic
I
show.
will put it higher on the list of the thousand things that have been recommended to me.
You'll get to it in the next 5 years, is what I'm
Yes.
hearing. But
Who
with that,
knows? Maybe 2 years.
who knows? We'll see. But with that being said, you watched a favorite of mine that this is hype as fuck for me. Hit me with
Yep.
it.
So last year, actually around this time, it was like May or June. I was looking for something to watch and I was just scrolling through. And sometimes like I get this like strike of inspiration of like a rewatch of like a show that I watched in like middle school, high school that I either didn't finish or I just want to reintroduce myself to it because it's been so long. And one of those ones is House MD.
Mm-hmm.
It was popping up a lot on my feed for some reason. I think it's because I got into Hannibal, and somehow there is this diagram where in the center there are people who like both Hannibal and House. It does make
Yeah.
sense now that I look back at it. But I was like, fuck it, I'll just go and I'll just start rewatching House. It's going to be great because I've already watched majority of it, if not all of it. I think I rewatching it. I think I've only not watched either season 8 or season 7 and 8 because I'm on
Okay.
season 6 currently, and it all still feels very familiar. So I got
Mm.
through more of that show than I thought I did. But anyways, but I started watching it last year and I watched like the first 2.5 seasons and then I just stopped. Like it just died down and I just moved on. And then I was in the same boat of like, what am I going to watch? And I was like, you know what? Why don't I just continue my rewatch of House? I'm almost done season 3. I know that 13 comes in soon, and I love Olivia Wilde in this show. Actually, this is the first thing I ever saw Olivia Wilde in, and once again, it was one of those moments of like, hmm, I should have known I liked women at a very young age.
Yeah, I feel like Olivia Wilde is
but
that moment for a lot of people.
yes, well, especially as like one of like an open bisexual on TV too. Anyways,
100%.
but I finished season 3 and I started season 4, and as soon as I got into it, I was locked back into House. Like season 4 and 5 are some of the most crazy, insane, but like don't want to stop watching like seasons of TV. And I think it's so good because seasons 1 to 3, like by the end of season 3, like I don't know about you, but like I got really sick of like the Chase Cameron and oh my god, his name, why is his name escaping me? And Foreman's like
Mm.
the way that they function as a team, like it was starting to get tiring.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but Cameron is one of the most infuriating characters I have ever seen on television,
Yeah.
like to date. And so like just like how she makes decisions, I don't understand. Like I think I like her as a character now that I look back at her, and I'm like, I don't hate you because you're a woman and making these choices. I just hate you because I cannot comprehend why you're making these choices. But good for you, I guess. Um, but season 4 opening up with like 40 people fighting for to be on this team, and House
Mm.
just playing like just a playing a game of like, cool, the moment you fuck up, you're gone kind of situation. And it's all these people fighting to be on this team and wanting to be here and like just creating this competitive environment. Like it just brought so much life back into the show that I
Yes.
think they really needed to have. And honestly, I need to do a little bit of research because I'm wondering if the show was in trouble at the time because season 4 is only 16 episodes
So,
long.
yeah, so this was the season that occurred during the 2008 writer's strike. So 24 episodes were written, but only 16 were produced.
I see. Okay,
Yeah.
that makes a lot of
So
sense.
that's why that's the
Okay,
case. Yeah.
I understand. But I loved it. I love all the characters that came in, and I
Mm-hmm.
love the characters that they kept, like Taub and
Nope.
Kuttner and Amber and 13.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just think it was such a fun choice. I love Amber in the
Amber's
way of like,
fantastic.
I feel like they low key wanted Cameron to be a bit like Amber. Like
Yeah.
that was the type of character they wanted Cameron to be, but that's just not the way they were going. Like they just were
No.
trying to do something else with her. I don't know. I will never be able to comprehend what they're doing with Cameron's character. Even to this day, like in season 6, I'm on the stuff with Chase and hers like divorce and stuff like that, and them like breaking up and stuff because of a choice that anyways, I'm not gonna get into that right now. That's a whole thing.
It's weird.
But
Yeah. I don't love it.
it's a weird situation, and I think it was stupid, and I hate Cameron.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah. I feel like,
sorry.
yeah, sorry. A lot of people just don't like season 6, I think, for numerous reasons. There are
It's a
reasons I love it,
weird one.
but yeah.
Yeah. I honestly, I really like the first 2 episodes, like the episodes of House and Rehab and
Oh,
those
yeah.
first little bits. Like that was some fantastic TV. But honestly, like it's been background noise for me while I'm doing my at home work. Like, and I
Mhm.
haven't been like paying like insane attention to it. Also, I don't like what they're doing with Tao right now.
Okay.
Either because in season 6 they get him to cheat on his wife again, and I'm like, well,
Right.
I thought we were working on this stuff. But point is, season 4 and 5 I love because they bring these characters in. I personally love Taub. Taub is one of my favorite characters I think of the show. Period. I just love how honest he is about like his position and like he's so like he's just so brutally blunt with
Mhm.
House, which is obviously why House like has him and likes him kind of thing.
Yeah, you need him to be that. Yeah,
Um
for sure.
yeah, I love that they brought in Kuttner because he's such a different energy and like he's a nerd, but like he's a fun guy and like he brings humanity into the team in such a different way that we haven't really seen before.
He's the most
Um
personable doctor there, I think. Like
Absolutely.
he kind of sometimes feels like a toned down like JD from Scrubs for me. Like I don't know
Yes.
why I feel that way, but I do.
I see the comparison 100%.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, like actually one of my favorite moments, I don't even know what episode it was, but there was a moment where like I think 13 and Foreman were together at the time. So it was like cutting to them being together. I think House and Wilson were doing something. Chase and Cameron were together. And then it just cuts to Kuttner watching TV with a cereal happy as can be. And I was like, I love you, man. Like
It's
you're
really
awesome.
really funny.
But
Yeah. I think that's the season where like I ended up kind of more so falling in love with the series, I want to say, because especially yeah, like you said, it was like basically the Hunter exam of doctors. Like it was so crazy. Um
yeah, it was good.
yeah, it added a lot of energy to the show. So season 5 is the one that I'm again, I haven't watched House in about 5 years, so like you're gonna have to fill in my memory a little bit here.
Yeah. Season 5 is insane because I really like it because it needed to be big. Because once again, the problem with House is that he needs to go to extremes to learn something about himself and to actually implement change into his life. So this whole season was them trying to get to the point of like, okay, House has to change. He can't live as an addict and as like this type of thing and not get like there has to be consequences to his actions. He's
100%.
been living without them and like we eventually have to show that he does. And I think the frustrating thing about season 3 with the stuff with the cop who he embarrassed in his exam and then he sent a whole like chart file and stuff like that. Like
Right. Yeah.
my my issue with that whole thing was that the cop was doing it for his own self-interest and like he was using hate like he was and like it was good because again it was a parallel between House and this cop, and like
Sure.
that conversation about like these people in power and how they just use it for themselves and yada yada yada. But like, and the parallel them as characters. But again, it was just that whole like, okay, cool. So House is just gonna get away with it because eventually they're gonna get resolved. And because like also
Yeah.
it's a TV show, he's gonna get away with it. Lisa's gonna coddle him. Wilson's gonna tell him he's right, and like, and this cop is eventually gonna give way because that's just what House gets, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But this season, with how it turns, and by the end of it, it's just House fully coming to terms himself of like, if I don't change my life, if I don't do something about this, like I'm going down this route that I everybody's been telling me I've been going down, but I'm finally seeing the like, oh, I don't want this. This is not what I want my life to be. I don't want to whatever. And the first half of the season is pretty like regular schmegular. Wilson and Amber start dating, and House doesn't like it because heaven forbid we have a homosexual relationship in the early 2000s and we have people admitting feelings for each other, but no, they're just best friends. But he can't have Wilson be in a relationship because then he's alone.
Oh.
Anyways, but the Amber stuff, and then that episode where House gets into the bus accident and it's him having no
Oh yeah.
memories, and it's him like having to diagnose himself to figure out what happened and who he was trying to help, and it all culminating to, oh, it was Amber, and Amber was on that bus because of me, and Amber is dead because of me, and Wilson has lost a girl that he was falling in love with, and like a woman that genuinely he loved. I took that away from him, and this is all my fault. And like that thing just sticks with him.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit, that's rough. And then probably around 5 episodes later, we get the Kuttner episode, which is so out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Which I do know it's because the actor himself, I think he went because it was in 2000. That episode
So
season was
yeah.
2008, I think, or
Yep.
2009. So I know he went to go work with like Obama or something
He
like
was
that
a
during like,
he was a press guy at the White House. Yeah.
yeah. So I know he had to abruptly leave.
Yeah.
But the choice that they made for his departure and like the story that they wanted to make,
Yeah.
yes, it was impactful, but holy crap. During my rewatch of it, actually, I just had it on. And like I said, I was just working away, doing whatever. And the episode just started, and they're like, where's Kuttner? Go get Kuttner. And it's Foreman and 13 who go to his house, and it just has that one single shot of his bedroom, and it's cut off, and you only see like a little bit of his pant leg, and that's all you see, and it stays on that shot, and it's 13 going in. You don't see her doing the CPR, but you know that she's doing it, and it's Wilson, and he comes in and he tries, and then it's them revealing themselves like covered in blood, and like, and it's just so like, and I had to rewind it. I had to go back because I was like, what? Did this just randomly? And it does. It
Yeah.
just so abruptly just hits you in the face, and there's no warning or nothing. And like, it's such a sad episode because it is all about like, you don't always know because there were no signs for
Mm-hmm.
Kuttner. Like
No.
as a character, you were like, why would he do this to himself? And that was what the episode was really about. It was like, well, sometimes you never know. People can hide it super well, and sometimes those decisions aren't made. Like sometimes it isn't not only a visible thing, but like whatever. And I think
Mm-hmm.
they did it well, but it was just like, oh my god, like you're just like,
It was a
oh,
gut
okay,
punch.
we're doing this now. Like we just lost Amber, and now we're going through this. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And
It
like,
it hits like a yeah. It's fucked. Like it's so hard to wrap your mind around in the moment when you're watching it.
yeah. And so like you are there with those characters who's trying to like figure it out. I think one of my favorite scenes in that episode was when House and the other doctors went to his parents' house
Yeah.
and talked to him. And House does what House does, where he is fully logically going through what he thinks happens. And he's not thinking about the emotion of it. He's not thinking about how his parents are taking it. And he basically blames the parents.
Oh yeah.
But he doesn't register emotionally what he's saying because it's House and this is how he's coping as well,
Yeah.
because he hates that he missed it and he doesn't understand why he missed it. He shouldn't have missed it. I'm the House. I know everything. I catch on to everything. I figure everything out. This is like my whole thing. And it really starts a literal mental breakdown for him. He
Mm-hmm.
starts Another thing that happened to House 2 this season was his dad died, and he dealt
Yeah.
with that, and he had to cope with that. That was in the very beginning of season 5. So he has his father died. He blames himself for killing Amber, and now he blames himself that Kuntner's dead because he didn't catch on to his, to his depression or whatever. And so he just goes into this mental breakdown and he starts having literal hallucinations of Amber.
Mm-hmm.
And a house being house, he coddles it for a bit because he thinks this is good. And then he realizes it's bad. And then we all clue in that it's actually the Vicodin. And like he's hallucinating because he's just taking so many pain meds because he just wants it all to just go away. And I think it's the second last episode where you fully believe that he went to Cuddy and was like, I need help. And you're watching him like start that beginning of like, no, I need to be better. And for that end of that episode, for him to go to Lisa and for Lisa to be like, what are you going on with? Like, you insult me and now you want me to do whatever. And you're so confused. And then it goes and do the flashback and sees like the Vicodin's been in his hand the entire time. And it was all like he was literally just in like a full psychosis of just believing that he's doing better when he's clearly not. And then
Yeah.
it was him being like, I have to go to a hot like I can't work anymore. I can't do this anymore. And great television, but my God, does it throw you in it. Like there's no,
Oh
it's just
yeah.
okay, here you go. Like,
It's
let's talk about it.
it's so fucked up. Like that entire episode did like that entire sequence. I vividly remember that. That is like
It's
it's
so well put
oh
together.
man.
And
Yeah.
like the first hint being like the lipstick on the sink left behind by Lisa
Yep.
and him looking at it kind of thing. And then you like, because I think he asked her, like, oh, do you have like tubes or whatever? And that was like the first thing that he clicked into, like, so there's something not quite right, but he couldn't figure it out. So he moved on. But like, and then flashing back and like him holding the lipstick turns into the Vicodin thing. And like just that whole thing of like his brain fully believing that like Lisa is his cure and like Lisa's his new Vicodin when no, it wasn't Lisa at all. You were just taking Vicodin.
Oh,
But your brain is making you believe that it was Lisa because we want you to keep taking the drugs and this is how you're going to keep taking the drugs.
fuck man. Yeah. That I oh boy. I need to rewatch these two seasons of television. That I remember that
Specifically,
hitting me so hard. Yeah.
yeah, specifically those two seasons,
Yeah.
honestly, and like the two rehab, like I said earlier, like and the two rehab episodes of season 6,
Yeah.
maybe couple of seasons or a couple of episodes after, but like seasons 4 and 5 are just some peak medical television, and especially peak House. Like that is the
Mhm.
best seasons of House for sure.
I agree. Like for my vague memories, I absolutely agree. The season 6
Yeah,
episodes you mentioned are like my favorite episodes in the series. I love the
yeah.
rehab episodes.
Uh, I think they're so smart, and it's so nice to see House like not fight it and like fully recognize like his behavior.
Mhm.
I don't know. It's nice to see a character like that actually be able to like grow and evolve.
Yeah, and it takes him some time, but he does get there. And yeah,
Yeah,
his whole like sobriety journey is really fascinating to me.
yeah, I fully agree. I think it's really good. And like at the part I'm at now, oh, there was one episode that I just watched where um he's like he's helping he still doesn't have his full practice back at the time or something like that. So like he can help on the um on the cases, but he can't physically be in the hospital and he can't like be with the patients and stuff like that. So he's just stuck at home just to answering phone calls. And he starts noticing one of his neighbors and having a certain type of pain or whatever. And he starts stalking him and like doing these awful things.
Yeah.
But by the end of it, he he figured out what the pain was and took it away. And like the
Yeah.
guy was like so grateful for it. And there was just that conversation of pain and House just saying like I was in rehab. It's just a time like it's basically just Tylenol for me now. Like I just have to manage it, and I'm just like I don't know. I just think this show's conversation around pain and pain management is really good.
Hmm.
One of the most impactful scenes, I think it's season 2 or 3, because it's the episode where I think Wilson or Wilson or Cuddy, one of them, start a bet with House that he can't take Vicodin,
Yep.
like that he can't go through a day without Vicodin. And there just reaches a point where he is so in pain from the withdrawal and just his leg that he takes the motor from the motor and pestle and just smashes it on his hand.
Yeah.
And like, as somebody who deals with a lot of like, especially like pain and like migraine pain, like that was the most like, I hated how real that felt to me
Yeah.
because I was like, yeah, I have literally done things to myself, like not to like that extent, but like I like there are like little things that you do to kind of make the pain receptor somewhere else happen, so you just don't have that pain anymore. I like it was
100%.
just like a holy shit, like God.
Yeah, it's so visceral in a lot of ways. House is really good at that. Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah. No,
yeah.
I'm glad you
So
watched that. Again, it's just dredging up so many different memories of House for me. I'm like, damn, this show was like, there was a time where
same
this
thing.
show was like peak, like
Yeah,
genuinely.
and I understand like the criticisms of the show, and I
100%.
understand like what was it? I saw some sort of show where people were getting like actors on, and they asked about if they would ever get Hugh Laurie on to talk about House, and they were like, actually, we did ask him, and he was like, no, I never want to talk about that show again. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, damn, like. Hey, you do you. I totally get if you never want to reintroduce yourself to that character because he is a full blown asshole.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
But
Like,
like,
yeah,
yeah,
that's wild.
but yeah, but it was fantastic TV. I also watched this show the first time I watched this show, I was in middle school. I was in like
Oh,
grade
really?
I was in like grade 8 or 9 when I first watched that show.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm,
But like, I feel like if I had watched this show back then, like I wouldn't have got it as much. You know what I mean?
no. And rewatching it now, I totally understand that I didn't comprehend half of the shit was that was going on,
Right.
but I am also in the same breath remembering a lot more than I thought I would remember as well.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I think that
Wild.
speaks a lot to the show itself. But yeah, so that's House for you. I'm definitely gonna finish it this time around because like I said, I don't think I finished season 8,
Hmm.
but I am taking a small break from it right now just to kind of like refresh my brain and kind of let myself do something else.
Yeah, I also needed that from House for sure. I will say that it is worth finishing. Like it does, you know, it doesn't get better. It gets worse. Uh, but it is worth finishing. I think about that last episode actually quite a lot. I do think I don't know what the general consensus is on the last episode of House. I really fucking love it. I think it's fantastic.
Okay,
Um,
cool.
but yeah, I don't know.
Well, I'll definitely keep that then, and I'll absolutely finish it.
Yeah, you certainly should. Yeah, just to even I just love to hear your opinions on it mostly because it does. There are points where it definitely like just continues to go downhill.
Yeah.
But you know,
Um,
that's all shows really. Uh,
well,
Long run
absolutely. Well, I'll keep
shows.
you updated as we go forward.
Awesome. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Please do.
Thank you. Now it's your turn once again, and you want to talk about something called Shithouse? Is this an album? Is this a movie? Is this a show?
No, it's just the place where you poop. It's like
Oh,
if I turn the corner here, it's a shit
mhm.
house over there.
Right.
Yeah, I want to talk about
It's
the
you
bathroom.
want to talk about your shithouse in
Yeah,
particular.
yeah. Is that okay?
Okay, tell me about it.
Okay, no. This is a movie. Let me get the director's name real quick because I don't want to fuck it up. Um, this is a movie from 2020. It's like a romantic comedy. Which is kind of a I don't even necessarily think that's I hate. It's not like a romantic comedy. It's like technically a romantic comedy. It's not. This is essentially
Okay.
it's a movie from director I think his name is Cooper Raiff is how you pronounce his name. Um
Okay.
he's done a few movies and he's like I think our age, you know.
Okay.
He's a younger dude. Shithouse came out in 2020. It is basically about a college freshman who is like kind of antisocial and is really struggling with like getting invested in college in any meaningful way, like especially socially. Like
Hmm.
he can't figure out like how to make friends and like what it means to like actually be involved. And
Right.
the movie basically, like, the first hour is like this it's like it's a Linklater movie for like the first hour. It is like just like a before sunrise style thing where the main character, also played by Cooper Raiff, the director, and is written by him as well, hangs
Mm.
out with this I think it's RA for like this entire night. Like they're just drunk the entire time. They're basically just going to bury like her not her turtle, her no, it was her turtle. Her turtle died that day. So
Aw.
they met each other and like kind of hooked up. Didn't really work out. And then like they just got to chatting, and then they go on this big like nighttime adventure, and like it's really
I
sweet
love that.
and like kind of romantic in like that, again, that kind of like before sunrise kind of way, where it's like, this is so impermanent. It's just two people talking like the entire time. It's two people kind of, it's a little more antagonistic than like a before sunrise, where it's like
Mhm.
two people really pressuring each other to like do what they think is right in some instances. And they're both drunk as fuck the entire time. So they're being maybe a little more open than they should be. But like it's really sweet. Like the first hour of this movie is like insanely sweet. And then the second half is a fucking downward awkward spiral of shit.
Literally.
It is essentially the next morning. He ends up sleeping over to her place. They get up. She is so fucking disinterested in this guy. She just sees this as like obviously like a one night stand. They had an amazing night. He is like fully invested in her. And you can only imagine like the awkwardness that comes out of that, and like the hard conversation that happens. But a lot of it
Yeah.
is just about like these two people, one of which is like so against socializing in this place that he thinks he's just better than, mostly because he just
Mhm.
misses like his home life. Like he misses
Yeah.
his mom and sister who like were always supporting him. And this girl who essentially like doesn't really have a home life and like has kind of embodied like that kind of selfishness because of it, right?
Right.
It's basically just two selfish people like just like having this
Yeah.
night together, and then the fallout. And
Yeah.
oh my fucking god, this hurt me to watch.
That says a lot, honestly, because like I don't know. I feel like you in particular too can handle embarrassment pretty well. So like I don't. Secondhand embarrassment hits me like a truck, and like the moment I catch on, like if I watch this movie, I will probably be cringing the entire time. I'll probably like it. This sounds
Mm-hmm.
like a really good movie, and I love those types of relationships and that like conversation about like, okay, let's look at a relationship that doesn't work but tries to work. And like that sounds really cool, but I can see myself like nothing scary is happening, but I'm hiding behind my
Oh,
eyes.
oh boy, there's a moment where he sends like 10 Instagram messages to this girl, then she's not responding, and like, oh, oh boy, oh boy.
Oh,
I was like, oh no,
yeah.
please stop. You need to stop. But like, I
Oh,
I love this movie. I genuinely think it's fantastic. One, because I love that kind of Linklater style, and I love that it's kind of like a twist on it. But like,
mm,
I also kind of relate to that character to some extent, because I
yeah.
definitely had that experience a little bit where I was like, I'm better than everybody else, even though I'm here with you all in the same place. And like that
Yep.
refusal to socialize because of that, like 100%
Yeah.
me. Like first year university, 100 fucking percent. Like I
Yeah.
absolutely relate to that. And like I,
Honest, honestly, I think me, you, and even like Alicia definitely all had that kind of vibe, especially where we were all
somewhat,
there
yeah.
together too. So it was like, why do we have to talk to anybody else?
Yeah, yeah. Like and I feel like if, and I mean, not to get too far into it, but like, I feel like if we didn't have each other there, like, we would have suffered because of it, I think, to some extent, because I think we still probably would have had that attitude, because I know a lot of people just do going into college.
Yeah.
And like, I just, yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like that would have been a little more devastating for all of us, maybe. But like,
Yeah.
it's it was just crazy to see that in a movie and to relate to that so fucking hard. And even some of the awkward shit with the girl, I was like, oh no,
Mm,
man. Like, I've definitely been on that
yeah.
fucking precipice. You need to not jump. You need to not do
Yep.
that. Oh boy. Oh boy. And like, yeah, no,
uh,
that all like it just it hit me really hard. And yeah, no, this director, like, he did one other movie that I watched. I
Uh-huh.
watched before this. It was from last year, I want to say. It's called Cha Cha Real Smooth.
Okay.
And this one is about essentially like it's not the same character, but like he's a college grad. And again, written, directed, starring this guy, Cooper Rafe.
Yep.
And he basically becomes like a bar mitzvah party thrower. Like he's just the life of the party. He goes to bar mitzvahs and like gets everybody hyped up. And
Okay.
he forms this like super sweet relationship with this lady and her autistic daughter. And like this lady who is like probably 10 years older than him, and like there's like a romantic thing there, but like there can't be because he's a kid. Like he's just out of
Yeah.
college, he's working at a fucking hot dog stand. Like this
Yeah.
cannot work. There's no way. But like you really want it to as an audience member, um
I love that.
so yeah, I don't know what this director has done since. I think he's worked on some television, but like I am really excited to see what he does next, because he's doing like these two movies in particular. Like he's done really great shit with like these interesting romantic dilemmas that I'm super fucking invested in.
I love that. We'll definitely have to keep an eye out for maybe A24 will hit him up at some point or something like that.
Oh fuck, they need to,
I
absolutely
like
need to.
yeah, he sounds like somebody who would work very well under them. But I
Hmm.
also think like kind of going back to our conversation about like change and
Yeah.
thinking about how this director is our age. I think the craziest thing about right now that I've been having a hard time digesting when it comes to relatable media that's been coming out is that it's because we're the adults now. We're the ones making the content. We're the ones producing the shit that we're seeing. So, like, all of a sudden, it like things were relatable before, but now they're just so relatable to a particular point in time, which is again those early 2010s, like late 2000s, early 2010s, like a coming of age kind of particularities. Like, I don't know, just think about like that Instagram thing that you said where you messed her like 10 times. Like, that is such a specific
Hmm.
thing that we feel in our culture and in our like dating and conversation scenes. Because my God, how many times did we go to a friend being like, is this the right thing to say? Should I send another message?
Oh yeah.
Oh, if I send more than two messages, then I'm a freak and I can't do that. Like, there's so much pressure about how you do that. Um, so it's just, yeah, I can see why like it gets to you very intensely, and like how you can see so much of like yourself and relatability
Hmm.
in this.
Yeah, I didn't really think about that, but you're absolutely right, because like yeah, a lot of these things are from like a lot of media now is coming from people in our generation. And like while we were sort of able to relate to like the media coming from like millennials, like
Yeah.
it is like, late Gen Z are now like, or early Gen, whichever way. Old
Yeah,
Gen
we're here.
Z are now like, making this shit. And it's yeah, it because of that, it is just so much more relatable. It is our time period, 100%. And again,
Yeah.
that makes me feel fucking old. I shouldn't say that.
Yeah.
I'm 27. Like I shouldn't feel that way, but I do.
But
It's weird.
but it does, because again, like, I don't know about you, but like I think the first time I ever looked at myself and was like, damn, I'm an adult was like when I was around, I think I was around 25,
Yeah.
because it was one of the first like assistant manager roles that I was in, and like just being there, it made me realize like, oh hi shit, I'm an adult. But now like the world is reflecting back to me that I'm an adult and is confirming that to me, and that is terrifying, and is equally makes me feel as old as like now understanding that kids have certain trends that I'll never understand. Like months later, I heard about 6'7" and I maybe sort of understand it, but
Yeah.
that's not my place because I'm not a 16-year-old in high school going 6'7",
Don't get it.
because why am I going to do that as an adult?
Yep.
And it's like, oh, I'm an adult. That's why I don't do that.
Yeah. Like I that's not for me. That's
Yeah.
not my culture.
And while that's fine, it's just also like terrifying because like it's just like, oh, cool. The internet is not just a place for me, it is for people younger than me. And that was always the case. I was just never aware or in adult spaces on the internet. But now that's where I live. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's so wild.
Yeah, we're losing touch. It's so weird. It's so weird. Yeah,
I
no,
want to be out on my
yeah.
damn phone. I don't want to be talking to y'all kids. And I don't want to know what's going on the internet.
I don't care anymore. Don't tell me about it. But I mean,
Exactly.
speaking of media that was, we mentioned media that was kind of made for the previous generation. You watched something that was holy fuck, definitely the most 90s ass movie of all time.
Okay, so I've like preface two, like I've watched this movie before. It was a rewatch. I just when I was rewatching it, I was like, I need to talk to Brendyn about this because if you haven't watched it, I this will be my recommendation. If you have watched it, I do want to talk about this. I watched Baz oh my god, his Lurrman's Romeo plus Juliet. I love this movie. You have watched it, right?
I've watched this movie several times, yeah.
Yeah. I I don't know how else to express how much I love this movie other than to compare it to how much I love A Knight's Tale
Okay. I don't know if I know
because
that.
of how they adapt the situation. Because it's Romeo and Juliet, and the smartest thing that they could have done, which is what they did do, which was they modernized it by putting it in like a modern, like Verona Beach, like doing a full, like California, like Miami style, like vibe with the super bright colors and like the mob gang of it all, or like the business of it all, and like restructuring it to what like that type of royalty and that type of like standards in like Shakespearean time and how that would relate back to us, and totally revamping and modernizing that on film, but then keeping the like how Shakespeare's performed and keeping that as is. So it's literally like watching different ways that people perform Shakespeare plays now. Like I remember one of the performances that I saw at Grenfell was Macbeth, but it was this like post-apocalyptic
Mm.
um this post-apocalyptic like military style that they performed, and it was like that but on film and with a huge budget and like the best visuals that you could ever imagine, and it's amazing. I love it so much. Like I'm sorry, watching Mercutio, like Mercutio's entrance of him coming out in full drag at the Capulet party and like is just singing and dancing, and then I hear like Romeo going after Juliet and speaking, whatever the words are, like of him calling out to her and like it being word for word how Shakespeare wrote it. And I'm like, yes, that is how you modernize and adapt a Shakespeare play.
Mm-hmm. 100%. Yeah, it is literally coked out Venice Beach 1990s Shakespeare. It
Yeah.
is so fucked. It is one of the most fucked movies I've ever seen. I don't know whether I love it or hate it. I change my mind every fucking day on this thing. It's so wild.
That's so fair. I love it because of its absurdity. Like
Yeah.
the opening scene when with like the Capulet boys and the Montague boys at the gas station, and like
Yeah.
it's one of my favorite ways that you could have opened up a movie, like, and like kept it like I bite my thumb at the store and they do the full thing, but again it's at a gas station with all these fancy cars, and like when Tybalt comes out in the outfit that he also, can we talk about
Mm-hmm.
the outfits? There's
Oh
one
yeah.
point where Tybalt is wearing a vest with a full image of Jesus Christ and like the Sacred Heart on the center of Jesus Christ. And I
Yeah.
went, I want that. I need that in my wardrobe right now, actually.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yep. It's hideous and I love it. It's so fucked.
oh, it's fan fucking tastic.
Mm-hmm.
And it also, fun fact if nobody knew, which I'm sure most people do if you're Halsey fans, was a big inspiration to the aesthetics of her second full album, Hopeless Fountain Kingdom. Um, that movie in particular, like how if you watch her music video for the opening song of that album, which is lost to me now in this moment, the album starts with the beginning of Romeo and Juliet, the whole like where we set our scene kind of situation. And the album is a like her version of like a Romeo and Juliet kind of telling. But if you watch the music videos, the aesthetics, while still hers, are heavily inspired uh Lurrman, 100%.
Hmm. Yeah, absolutely. I could
Anyway,
see Halsey doing something like that for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
just fun fact. But yeah, I love that movie. I think the thing I hate most about that movie is honestly Leonardo DiCaprio. He just gives me nothing.
Yeah.
Like
He's yeah, the dry.
you're like I get that you're Romeo and you're a teenage boy, but like you give me a little bit more. You just give me a little bit
Yeah,
more.
like give me a little more of the over dramatic, like
Yeah.
teen boy
I know you
energy.
have it in you. You're Leo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
Like I've seen you do it. So like you could have brought it here. Like
Absolutely, yeah. But I mean, the performances in that movie, like you said, Mercutio is honestly the standout, like 100%
the
of the time.
best.
Yeah, that movie goes so fucking hard in so many ways. I do feel, and again, this is based off my memory. I haven't watched it in several years, but I do remember there were
Mhm.
parts of the movie that like definitely
It,
were a little boring for me, which is sad to say of
yeah.
a movie that is so fucking bombastic. Um,
Mm.
but like just the style alone, like it gets points for that, you know?
Yes. And I agree with that. I do agree that it can sometimes drag. Like there are points where my attention is gone. And it's honestly those middle points when it's like when it is like the like Juliet talking to the maid about going off with Juliet, or
Yeah.
it's Romeo going to the priest, who I love the monk in this because he just has a huge cross tattoo on his back that he always has out, and he basically just runs like a drug thing on the
Yeah.
side, and like I just love that.
It's
Um,
crazy.
but like those middle parts that like you also kind of fall into like a whatever in reading the play as well that you definitely fall out of
Oh,
in the movie
100%.
too.
Yeah. That's
and
Shakespeare
i and
generally
I
for me, to
do
be honest. Yeah.
exactly, and so that's where I think that falls point of like that's just the foundation of like the play. You're also when you're adapting a play like that into a film and you're keeping the whole thing, it's gonna feel long because it was intended for the stage and not the film. So like I
100%.
can see how that translation can also be difficult to keep up. So I
Yeah.
do agree with you there.
Shakespeare definitely created the shitty act 2. The boring act 2 that has just
Unfortunately.
been throughout all English literature up till this point.
Well, you need you sometimes it's nice to have a good act too. I'm looking at you two towers, but like
Yeah, yeah, true.
sometimes it's really hard to do because
Yeah.
again it's that middle point of we need to keep the climax going, but also we need to give you more information, and also
Setup.
we just need to tie things to get to the end and do like new setups, and that can be so difficult sometimes.
Yeah, doing that in an interesting way can be really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when we're looking at a story where the main plot are these two teenagers who are not allowed to be together because mommy and daddy say no, but they're going to do it anyways, like there's only so much that you can do to fill it up.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Now, I do have to ask, is this really the best 90s adaptation of Romeo and Juliet? Because there is another one out there that we have both watched.
And from the 90s? What one?
Tromeo and Juliet, baby.
Tromeo?
Yeah. Do you remember this? Do you remember
No, I'm looking this up.
Tromeo? Do you remember Trauma?
Wait, did we watch this in
Oh,
Shakespeare class?
oh, fuck yeah, we did. We watched it alongside uh
Ah, I think
this version. It
I
is
appreciate Pope and everything that he does. Oh yes!
the
Sorry, I got so
raunchiest.
excited.
Fucking James Gunn was in on this shit, man.
Yeah, James.
It's awful.
Holy sh! Yeah, it's not a good film.
No, it's
That I
horrific.
do remember.
But it's like
Oh,
purposefully terrible. Um,
Shakespeare is transformed into a no holds barred, says Variety.
it's like yeah, it's as like disgusting as they could get with the 90s for the most part.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's fair.
yeah.
Yeah, well, comparative to the two, I would say uh Baz's is my favorite.
I would have to
Not
agree.
unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I would
Man,
have to agree. Absolutely. Baz
yeah,
Luhrmann is definitely preferable to fucking Romeo and Juliet. I just thought about it. I was like, holy fuck, like I've not thought about that movie in a minute.
I'm wondering if I was even there for that class when we watched it, if I'm being so real, because I remember talking about it, but I don't remember anything like visually or
Yeah,
like
I
name
remember
about it.
the movie. I do not remember talking about it in class because I skipped 90% of my class in university anyway. So that definitely
Well,
did not.
yeah,
But
but hilarious.
you know,
Thanks, Pope, for keeping us educated on all the different types of films that
yeah,
we can endure and watch.
yeah. Big shout out to Dr. Jonathan Pope. Uh, you you showed us some films, buddy. Some of them
Yeah,
were
you
good.
did.
Some of them were real fucking bad. Uh,
Some of them were choices,
some of
and
them were
some of
fucking
them
choices.
have led us to where we are today.
Certainly, yeah. Thanks, Pope. Appreciate it, bud.
Alrighty. So moving on from Romeo and Juliet and going back to, well, not going back. I mean, I feel like this whole thing just shows how big nerds we are. But
Mm.
let's get into the nerdiest of all nerds thing that we can talk about today, and that is your Pokemon champions. This is your time to shine, to just rant at me about Pokemon and just to tell me all the things that you love about Pokemon's champions, or hate. I don't know. You can
Yeah,
be a
yeah.
hater
It's a
sometimes.
mixed bag. We're gonna go into the mixed bag here.
Okay.
Kendall, you know I love Pokemon. Unfortunately.
Have I ever told you of the story that the first time I have ever heard of you ever?
Yeah, so I was hoping you'd tell that. Yeah, go for it.
Okay. So you lived in Nora's Arm, which was a small community away from my main town, Lewiseport. And a girl moved from Nora's Arm into Lewiseport before our schools merged in high school, and we started going to school together. So this was in like middle school that I think she told me this story, but she was talking about this guy named Brendyn and how, and I don't know how the conversation came up, but she basically explained that she was on the bus one time, and I mean, this was probably kindergarten, grade one, that she was telling the story about.
Yeah.
Whether it's true or not, I don't know. And you say
It
that it's
was
not true.
primary, yeah, for sure.
But the TLDR was that she basically said that you couldn't rhyme off the alphabet, but you could name off all 101 Pokemon from like the first generation. And that is the first bit of information I have ever heard about you in my entire life.
Definitely hyperbolic, definitely 100% true.
Yes.
Yeah, no, she was absolutely 100% correct. I could do that. I could also do the alphabet, believe it or not, but I could also do that.
Yes. Which honestly very impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, I've been with Pokemon for a long time. I'm a lifelong fan, unfortunately. What before I get into it, what's your experience with Pokemon? I know you kind of like you're kind of in and out on it sometimes. Or
I'm in
you
and
were,
out. I because like my brother wasn't really into Pokemon,
right?
so like that didn't meld into me. But Ash was super into Pokemon, so like it was around me kind of thing. So I think my first generation that I fully got into Pokemon was Diamond and Pearl. I really liked Diamond or whatever, and then I would pick up new ones here and there. But I think I tried to play Green or Emerald because I think I borrowed your copy or something like that.
Oh, sure, probably.
Like years later. But like, yeah, I'm very much in and out. I'll play some of the new ones. Like I think the most recent one I played was Sword, which I did like.
Yeah.
Um, but for Pokemon, for me, I like play through the game and then I'm done. Like grinding and that type of situation is not really the thing that I look for in video games. So I like Pokemon. I think they're super cute. Psyduck is my like number one Pokemon of all time. I think I have three plushies of him, maybe two. Like I love him so much, and I'll like watch like all the Pokemon movies and stuff like that. But to
Mhm.
play them, I would rather just like hear you talk about them or like watch somebody on YouTube while play them or whatever.
So, as somebody who, again, like you're aware of the series, you've participated. What do you know about competitive Pokemon?
The card game
Nope,
or like
nope.
online versus?
Video game, the video game.
Not a lot,
Okay,
honestly. Like
okay.
I not a lot at all.
So, since the Diamond and Pearl era, since when you kind of picked it up for the first time, there has been a competitive scene in Pokemon. It really blew up in Generation 5 Black and White. So basically,
Right.
as you know, like with like the kind of turn-based combat of Pokemon. There is like the games do a terrible job of showing this, and I have a Substack on that. But like the games aren't very great at revealing like how strategic it really is. But there is a lot of strategy to that turn-based combat system that makes it a whole lot of fun to play with friends. I mean, that was kind of like the purpose of the first game in a lot of ways, was like connect with your friends, trade Pokemon, battle against each other. And through that battling, there was like a meta developed, essentially. As far back as Gen 1. Like, there are certain Pokemon that if you were a kid on the playground and you were real fucking tapped in, you knew what you were going to bring. You knew you were going to bring your
Yeah.
Slowbro. You knew you were going to bring your Tauros. You knew exactly what you were going to do with those things. And a lot of that, of
Yeah.
course, is like kind of developed over the years as we go back and look at those games and how they worked. But like, nonetheless, when I was a kid, I grew up with Pokemon Fire Red. That was my first game because my stepsister owned it, and I really wanted a copy for myself, and so I got a copy. I played Emerald. I played Diamond and Pearl. I played Platinum. I played Heart Gold. I was a huge fucking Pokemon fan, as you mentioned.
Mm.
And I stopped after Black and White for a few years. And I came back with X and Y. And then yeah, like I've been kind of in and out a little bit since I would say like Sword and Shield. I've been more in than out.
Yeah.
But throughout all of this, I have been like keeping up with competitive Pokemon. And this has turned into not just like kids on the playground, but like a whole fucking scene. Like, there is prize money associated with regional events, with national events, international events, the world championships. There are like distinguished Pokemon players. There's there's Wolf Glick. There's fucking Cybertron. There's like a whole fucking list of people who are like been world champions, completed this many regionals, like, and it is turned into like this fucking huge thing, humongous. Probably not
Wow.
the most like popular esport in the world by any means, but like, holy fuck, there's a lot of money in this, and there's a lot of there's a huge fan base around it because
Whoa.
it. Sorry, go on. Yeah, did you have something to add there?
No, I was just gonna
Yeah,
say, like, it makes sense because kind of tying everything back to like the whole growing up thing. Like, we grew up with Pokemon, so Pokemon is also growing up with us, and it's making sure that it stays with our generation as much as it's building the new generation. So it makes sense that there's money in this, but that's just kind of insane. Like, it makes sense, but I've never once even thought about it even being like a possible like thing to be like a proper esport.
100%, right? Because like, it's not something that you would know like right off the bat. And when I like, since Gen 5, I've kind of been in and out of competitive Pokemon. Like, there's a battle simulator online called Pokemon Showdown, and it's been around forever. And you can basically like create your competitive teams, go up against people. A lot of people play double battles in particular. That's like the VGC format. And there's a
Right.
lot of strategy around double battles in particular. As you can imagine, having like two Pokemon on each side, you bring four to a match, and it
Yeah.
becomes like this fucking flurry. Like, it's crazy how some of this works. Um, but yeah, like I've been kind of in and out of it since then. And I picked it up a little bit more within the last the last couple years as something that like I've just wanted to get better at. Half
Mhm.
because I've been playing a lot of like difficulty ROM hacks of Pokemon games. I have a Substack post on this, in which I talk about like
Mhm.
Pokemon games are not hard anymore. I mean, they never really were hard, but they're not balanced in a way to like be difficult meaningfully. It's always
Yeah.
so the lowest common denominator of people, essentially, or sorry, the highest common denominator of people, uh, children, can play through them with ease and not have to worry about it. That's fine. Like, to some extent, I get it, but in another way, I'm like, fuck. Like, I really want a challenge with these games because I've been playing them for fucking 20 years, and like, I,
Yeah.
yeah, you gotta like give me something, right? And so a lot of these like ROM hacks, people like make their own Pokemon games, and they make like sometimes it'll just be the base Pokemon game with a bunch of difficulty shit added in, like competitively balanced teams and whatnot. And I wanted to kind of get better at playing those because they are really hard. So I kind of just started like fucking around in Showdown some more over the past couple years, And like I
Mhm.
don't stick with it for a very long time. Like I'll play for a month, give it up for a month, pick it up another month, whatever. But
Yeah.
it is a lot of fun, and I do have a good bit of fun like building weird teams and like just doing whatever. So last month, I think it was the beginning of last month, Pokemon Showdown, not Pokemon Showdown, sorry, fuck, I fucked it up. Pokemon Champions came out. This is the officially licensed Pokemon competitive battle game. I was going to call it a simulator, but it's just a full on game. So instead of
What is
picking,
it on?
yeah,
Is it like just on the Switch or is it on like your phone?
so it is on Switch. It's coming out on mobile soon. Um,
Mm.
Essentially, basically the way it worked is like VGC would always be played. People would use Showdown for like testing, essentially, and then they would like create their teams in the Pokemon game, which takes a very long time for several reasons I won't get into. Um, and then they would play like in game. The last one was Scarlet and Violet. So I played a little bit of competitive in Scarlet and Violet. Like I had a couple. I had an A team made, I should say, full team. But I when Champions came out, I was like, okay, I'm gonna dig my heels in a little bit here. I want to like really see what's going on with this free to play game. Um, and yeah, I have a lot of thoughts. And I won't get into any of the technical stuff because like I don't like shit's gonna go over people's heads and like
Yeah,
whatever. If it's that minute, I'll throw it in a fucking Substack article. But
there you go.
essentially, the reason I want to talk about this is because there are a lot of free to play mechanics in it. Um, and I'm really mixed on that because competitive Pokemon has not been very accessible at all due to the absurd mechanics of how Pokemon work and it requiring
Mhm.
hours of not only like building a team, but hours of the like learning all the shit you need to know before you even start building a team. And now they've
Yeah,
really simplified that down in this like simulator game. That is going to be the basis for competitive Pokemon for the foreseeable future. Um,
right.
the problem I have with it is the accessibility part, and I, I still, again, I'm still mixed on it. You've played games like Genshin Impact, right? Like you've played some of these like gotcha ass games.
Yes, I have. Not unfortunately, but like, yes.
Yeah, but you have experience with those games that are like they're not trying to necessarily
You're free
push
to
anything on
play.
you, but yeah,
No, but it's free to play. But if you want like the cool skins and if you want the things that like you really do actually want, you have to do gotcha. But you don't have to spend money on it. But you do have to grind your life away, and you're only allowed to get a maximum of a certain amount, and you have to get it in a certain point before the month changes and a new cycle happens. And it's also a gotcha, so there's still a chance to it. So you're
yeah,
not even guaranteed to get the thing that you want. And then, so your best bet is to spend the money on buying the gems so that you can get all the pools that you want so that you can get whatever
mm-hmm.
and um I find that stuff infuriating. It's why I am a sucker for a dating sim and those like dating RPGs and stuff like that, like Mystic Messenger. Um Twisted Wonderland was a more recent one that I was in, and I would always fall out of them because there just came a point where they expected so much, like it was either better for me to spend the money to get the pools that I wanted or to just stop playing because I needed to grind. And like I said about Pokemon, that's not my jam. Like that's not why I play a video game. So if I'm done.
Yeah,
Like,
100%. So essentially, with Pokemon, it's less about the monetization and more about how much fucking time you've put into this series over the past couple of years. Um,
right.
so for me personally, I recently, within the last year, I put like 200 hours of my life into completing the entire Scarlet and Violet Pokedex. 500 fucking Pokemon
Damn,
to catch, or 600,
that's
insane
impressive.
amount. Yeah, and I mean, it was
Yeah.
just something me and Meg wanted to do together, and like we did. Um,
Yeah.
Took a long ass time. A lot of effort. So when it came to Pokemon Champions, there is a way to transfer your Pokemon from other games into this one. Um,
Okay.
and like they've really figured out like a way to simplify all like the stat modifications and all that, and it all makes sense to somebody coming into this for the first time. The issue I have is that if people were not as fucked up in the head as I am and didn't do that in their last Pokemon game, They're at a significant disadvantage in this game that is basically all competitive Pokemon, all ranked battles. Ranked battles are the things that matter in this game.
So if they're if people are trying to get into competitive Pokemon and maybe they don't have like say they didn't play Violet, maybe they played like Diamond or something, but they just wanted to get right to Champion.
Yep,
Like, is there any way to build your teams and like get more Pokemon through Champions, or is it
sure.
only through the other games that you can download them?
Sure. So there is a way. Basically, you pick like a starter. It's not really a starter. It's literally just like a fairly competitively viable Pokemon. There's your Charizards. There's your Tyranitar's. All these Pokemon people fucking know if you have any fucking idea of the series. Um, and then you pick that, and they'll form a team around that. It's like basically a preset team. It's not very good. It's very easy to counter. None of it makes a whole lot of sense. You can change the moves up, you can change the abilities, but realistically, like none of this team is not going to be competitively viable in any sort of way. You are not going to win a lot of games with it, unfortunately. Um,
Right.
there is a system in which you can get one Pokemon per day. This costs a number of points. I think it is. So the way it works is you basically get a lineup of like 10 Pokemon to choose from every day, and you can pick one of those Pokemon. So obviously I'm looking at this and I'm looking at, I do this still and I have all the Pokemon, but like, whatever. There's probably one or two I'm missing from like another game I have not played that's not Scarlet and Violet. So like, I'll look,
Mhm.
I'll pick the one I want. It doesn't really matter to me. If
Yeah.
anything, I'm just going to pick the one that's like, I know is like in the meta or like competitively viable or has something weird with it that I know I can fuck around with. But to somebody who doesn't know, like they not aware of this coming into this for the first time, they're probably going to be wasting a lot of their picks on shit that like they just like, which is fair. Like that's a
Right.
fun way to play Pokemon, but like this is that you are going to have a very rough time. And then at the other issue is that like it has a rental system essentially. You can either rent this Pokemon and have it for I think it's a limited amount of time. I'm not really entirely sure how that works because I haven't had to do it. Um,
Mhm.
or you spend 2,500 points, and these points are got from doing like your dailies and your weeklies and like playing competitive games. You usually get like 300 for a win, like 40 for a loss or whatever. Like it depends. Um,
Right.
and yeah, or you can use these tickets that you get from like owning the battle pass or like getting the fucking day one edition, which of course I knew I was going to play a shit ton of this game. I did get the battle pass. I did get the day one edition. Like we knew I was going to fucking do these things. I'm a sicko.
Yeah.
But for the person that is coming into this who sees this game, sees all the accessibility features in terms of like the stat adjustments and like actually making competitive Pokemon something that you don't need to like absolutely research, like throw
Hmm.
hundreds of hours into learning, I have a fucking bone to pick with this entire system because it seems to me that this is not like super accessible to those people right off the bat. And I don't think that's really fair. Like,
Well, no, because you have the advantage. But I mean, I think that speaks a lot to just about most things in general, where it's like this has been around for 20 years. So the people who've been playing it for 20 years are always going to have that advantage, right?
sure, to some
Like,
extent, yeah, of course. But like, there is also like, I just think around the availability of Pokemon in particular. Like the fact that I can
yeah,
transfer in anything I want day one and make this crazy ass fucking the thing
that
I'm
is true.
yeah like
100%.
and crushing my way through fucking multiple ranks. Like, and I guess that makes sense. Like, obviously, I do have more experience. Once I get into ranked, I'm going to be higher up in the rankings. I'm not that high. I'm like Ultra Ball 3. But, like, I just fucking feel bad for the people that are coming into this for the first time and need to wait essentially months to get the Pokemon they need. This random selection out
Yeah,
of like however many available Pokemon are available this season. You get 10 of them. You can have repeats. Like, that to me is a system
yeah.
that doesn't fucking work.
No, it's very frustrating, and it can lead to that, like, frustrated, member like, person who's trying it, and because they don't have those things, they're just not gonna play it anymore because it's like,
Yeah.
"Cool, well, it doesn't matter unless I grind my life away for months," and not everybody can do that, or not everybody is interested in doing that. Like, to me, it sounds like it could be something through, like, the Pokemon that they do provide, I think a fun way for them to do it is to have, oh, we got a Giss.
It's my real
We
life
got a
Pokemon.
Giss shot.
Hey, buddy.
Hi, buddy. Oh, guys, this is one of the silkiest boys you'll ever meet in your entire life.
He hasn't stopped.
Um, I have seen this man from the tiniest little bean to the fatso that he is today.
And he's
He has
still
nipped
sucking.
at my heels, and he has loved me as intensely as he is loving Brendyn right now.
He
This
does this to
is
everybody.
Meg's cat,
Meg's cat,
Gizmo.
100%. But yeah.
All Megs.
Um,
But
yeah.
no, but sorry, back to the Pokemon thing of like, I think a fun thing that they could add to it to keep not only the socializing of it, but like to help with that is to have like, I don't know, an open world like part of it where like you as a trainer can go out and catch Pokemon.
Yeah.
Like the main thing is still like your is to still battle and is to still do that stuff. But like every other Pokemon game, have the ability to catch Pokemon properly.
Yeah, 100%. I would have liked to have seen, like, my dream for this kind of system is essentially that plus like just kind of make it like they did in, you've seen Legends Arceus. You know how that game, it's basically
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild except you're running around fucking catching Pokemon.
Yeah.
Just
Something like that. Like,
yeah, right?
yeah, you did it, you were successful in it, so why not keep that going?
Yeah, and I mean they do keep that going, to be fair, with like Legends ZA, which is not a very good game. Like,
Mm,
in my opinion, it's not even like the same gameplay systems at all. But like,
fair.
it's just, even if they did a Pokemon Stadium style where you would just
Yeah.
pick whatever fucking rental Pokemon, or like you just pick whatever Pokemon that are there. It's whatever.
Yeah.
Everything's
Just do a
unlocked.
full Smash Bros style.
Pick the
And
ones you
then like
want. Like,
yeah, right? Like every battle system and then
oh,
there's multiple options or like the more higher like more powerful ones you can only pick like one person can pick it and like that's it. So it's all about to the rush of like you should know your team before you even get into the selection so that you can get there first. Like even something like that would give an advantage to like newer players and the such.
yeah, and I mean, to be fair, like you craft these teams, like you can spend like an hour like outside of the actual game crafting these teams, over an hour easily, crafting these teams and
Yeah.
like figuring what items to use and what moves or whatever. It's just like let people kind of have access to everything, like instead of
Yeah.
like them having to wait a long time to like kind of get the things they want. And I know this is probably like a minority of people, but for something like, I fucking love competitive Pokemon. I love watching it in
Yeah.
particular. I want to
Mm,
see like more people get invested in this. And I know this is a good avenue to do so as like a free to play game that, like, yeah, sure has some microtransaction stuff, but like I feel like I would rather somebody have to pay fucking $60 and just get everything. Like, fuck
yeah.
this. I
And
I hate seeing
and
it.
I think yeah, and I think that's the downfall of just like oh, back to the issues of capitalism. But like this is the issue with Nintendo too,
Yeah.
and what they are blatantly aware known for, which is the oh, you want to play this game, well, if you want certain things out of it, you should also play these six other games. So like
Mhm.
in a way, this is also a way for them to be like, cool, you want more Pokemon? Go and buy like our most recent Pokemon game so you can catch them all and then you could have them all in this game. And
Yep.
like it's just another one of those segues of like, yes, it's a free to play game, but we're also going to make you spend money so that we make sure it's a viable thing that we can afford to be free. Like nothing,
Yeah.
unfortunately, can ever truly be free in that way.
No, unfortunately not. I mean, I feel like Pokemon Company would probably get away with it being the fucking, biggest selling franchise in the world, but like you're right. Like they're never going to do that. The one thing I will say that
No,
absolutely goes to your point, the most like, it's not the highest used Pokemon like right now in the competitive meta, but it is one of the most powerful. It's called Mega Floette.
hmm
It is a version of this Pokemon Floette that you can only get from completing the so you get so far into the end game of the new game, Legends ZA.
yeah,
Not even I have done it because I don't like that fucking game. But
hmm
it is genuinely one of the most powerful Pokemon in the meta right now, in the competitive meta, as of May 4th, whatever day it is.
yeah,
And it is like manufactured scarcity in a way, because only so many
yeah,
people have went and bought Legends EA, played it for fucking 60 hours, got Mega Floette, transferred it over. Like, are you serious?
Yeah.
It's
It's
insane.
one of those relationships where unfortunately the company sees the people who are going to be willing to spend the money and to take the time, and they know that they can get that out of a certain like a certain group of people that do buy their games, and there's enough of them that they believe in that they can make a profit out of it, so they will.
Yeah, absolutely. I think
So
so.
like they're playing on like the fandom of the whole thing of like you're obsessed with this, so I know that you're going to be willing to do whatever you can to get like the best thing. So we'll make it
Hmm.
super exclusive. A, to make it feel like it's just for you, to make you feel good for spending all of this money, but also so that we get more money.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I'm hooked in their claws when it comes to champions. Like, I'm going to buy every fucking battle pass. I know that's gonna happen because I am playing this game a fuck ton, and I do want all the nice rewards, and I'm an
Yeah.
idiot, and I shouldn't, but I
And
will.
and that's but you know what, that's not a bad thing because like going back to like the gushes and how I won't spend them. I know like one of our mutual friends, she's really into one called Love and Deep Space, and like
Yeah,
there was I remember one pool like there was a certain event that she was super excited for, so she was like, I'm going to allow myself to like put money into this because I really want XYZ thing, and I'm like, that's fine. Spend your money wherever you want to spend your money if you're going to use it, but it's just disappointing for like people who want to play this casually and
yeah,
don't want to be into it, like they're not into it as intensely as you are, so they really don't want to spend the money, and then that's the immediate barrier, right? And
yeah,
that's what's going to stop them from even playing it casually because they know that there's just going to be a certain cap on their ability,
yeah,
which isn't inherently a wrong thing either, because once again, companies need to make money, and like some people just love things more than others. And I think you should like allow people with those obsessive behaviors to be able to get it out somewhere. But like, I don't know, you're right though. Like there's a balance to it. And like you
yeah.
can't have an audience grow if you don't let them in.
Yeah, I just don't love. I don't love the capitalization on those, like that obsessive behavior. Right, that's what fucking
Yeah.
gets me. And like,
Yeah.
this is not the Pokemon Company's first time doing this. Obviously, Pokemon Go is a big one, but like the biggest travesty has been the Pocket trading card game. Have you played that, like the mobile one?
Yes.
So
I've
yeah,
never played it, but I've seen it because Manny plays it
gotcha.
or
Yeah.
has played it.
So I did play a fuck ton of that for a few months. I never put money into it. And it took me so long and to get to a point where I could be any bit, because again, I care about the competition aspect. I want to play ranked. I don't care about collecting the fucking cards. I mean, they're cool, but like it's a digital fucking card game. If I want to collect
Yeah.
actual Pokemon cards, I will go out and buy actual Pokemon cards, of which, by the way, side note, I do have a fucking $800 Charizard card that I pulled from my first pack in like 10 years. It's fucking insane. I hate that this is a thing because I just wanted to buy Pokemon cards to play them, and now I have this stupid fucking card sitting in my fucking house. Anyway,
And are you going to keep it out of spite or are you going to sell it?
at this point, I'm keeping it out of spite. Um,
I love that.
yeah,
Good.
absolutely. But like,
Thank you.
it got to a point where like I could not move up in the video game because I did not have the resources to compete with the people who were putting money into it. And so it
Yeah.
becomes to a point a pay to win scheme. And I don't think Champions is doing this currently. I think Champions is just going to have a fucking hard time at the rip getting some
Yeah.
people invested in it, which sucks because this is the ultimate fucking competitive experience for Pokemon. As a game,
Yeah.
it works. It has issues. There's like a lag on the menu, and like when you're kind of trying to like select a move when you only have so much time to do so, sometimes it lags a minute and it really fucking freaks you out and you get thrown off completely, and that sucks. But
Yeah.
other than these like really minute technical issues, as a game, fucking good. Like I'm really enjoying it. But like
Hell
I
yeah.
just I just I don't know. I just hate fucking free to pay shit.
Make
You know what I mean?
things accessible. If you're going to make it free, make it actually free and make it
Yeah,
actually fully accessible at the end of the day. Like,
100%. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
Like, yeah.
I don't know. That's my
I don't
rant.
know.
I don't know.
I love that. It just like to bring it back to one thing, like it makes me think about Disney's Dreamlight Valley.
Oh yeah,
That game was originally supposed to be a free for play.
and it looks
They
like
just
it.
dropped like a bit. They dropped a beta pack where you can spend like, I don't know, $40 so that you can like for early access basically. And I was like, yeah, this is totally up my alley because it's like a Stardew Animal Crossing kind of situation, but like it's a live updated one. Like it's eventually going to be free to play. And they never ever did make it free to play. They knew people
Mm,
were going to buy it, so now instead they just release these 40 to $60 bundles. Some things come free with the update, but the things that you really want, you have to pay for. Or again, it's behind that like gotcha system where like you have to collect all of these certain kind of in-game currency to be able to afford to get XYZ thing.
mm,
Like, and it's just so frustrating because it's like, okay, I just wish that you didn't like frame this as a free to play game and then totally take that away. Like that's so stupid and also so Disney to do because yeah, you saw that people would be willing to pay for it. So you said, okay, then we're just gonna make you pay for it, even though it's a game that should be free to play and is not that good and not good enough to be spending that much money on it, if I'm being honest. I
100%.
think I bought one bundle maybe beyond like the original back and that was it. I was like, actually, I don't even think I did. I saw that they were releasing it and I saw like what was behind the paywall and what wasn't, and I was just so pissed that I was just like, okay, I'm never playing this game again.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just sad of how far we've fallen. Like I've played I'm playing a lot of Street Fighter 6. And I've also played like a
Yeah.
little bit of like the old game like Third Strike. That was like
Mm.
an arcade game. Obviously with arcade games you threw fucking money in it, but like, these days you're playing on Fightcade or I play on my PS2 sometimes. But like
Yeah.
just seeing the difference between the way these two games do like costumes, like in Third Strike, like it was just you press a one of six buttons on the character select screen and then you get that color of that character. And then
Yeah.
in 6 you have two colors for each character and then you have to go buy skins for every
Skins.
single fucking one. And you can grind
Yep.
up over hundreds of hours to hopefully get enough of this currency to buy it, or you shell out like $40 a fucking pack for like these
Yep.
massive boosters of character skins that like some of which you just do not give a fuck about.
And I
Yeah,
do
it's awful.
blame Overwatch for that, if I'm being so
Oh,
real.
Overwatch, but even before Overwatch, fucking
Oh yeah.
Counter
Like
Strike,
League.
Counter
Yeah.
Strike, 100%. At least League, like, you know, I could. League didn't do this fucking loot box shit, which I do appreciate. League did kind of have an
Mm.
issue, like, but it was never like it was always free. And
Yeah.
it building up points was never that difficult. But like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'd say Overwatch was really bad for it. So was Counter Strike. Counter Strike was genuinely like a full fucking economy off of like
Yeah.
skins and loot boxes and all this bullshit. And Pokemon has not gotten to that point. Pokemon has genuinely, in comparison to everything else, been okay. It's been fine.
Yeah.
I just still fucking hate to see it here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it
because you know
hurts.
it can get worse and it's like you're already
Yeah,
seeing those trickles of like those early signs. So of course you're going to be upset about it because you don't want it to go to that point where you have to buy skins or you have to buy certain Pokemon or XYZ thing because
yeah,
you know like it's free
lose
to
my mind.
play. Who knows what's going to happen once, you know, in a year's time when they get stats on how people play and what people buy and how they're going to change and update it because of, you know, how it'll work for them as a company over how it works for you as a player.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just disappointed in that aspect of it. Overall, fine game. If you're listening to anything I said about competitive Pokemon or at least half interested, like try it out. Like it is fun and it is free. It's just also like be warned that if you're going into fucking the ranked matches, the entire point of this game, you're going to struggle until you build up that roster. Um, Unfortunately. Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
Yeah, that's my negativity for the day.
but and do you know what? I think that's a fair amount of negativity and a valid bit of negativity at that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I
Well,
know we have one more music thing on here before we get to our big Return of the King discussion. Uh,
yes.
and yeah, it's from a band I've been meaning to listen to for a while, but I genuinely have not heard a single song. So go for it.
Okay, so you haven't listened to Turnstile at all.
No.
Okay, sweet, great. This is makes my life so much easier.
Okay.
So I heard just because I know exactly what I'm recommending to you today now.
Nice.
But well, I knew it before, but I just got confirmation. But anyways, Turnstile. I think has been on the scene for a while, but they're really only popping off in like the last year or so.
Yeah.
I first heard of them at some point last year, like last summer ish, because it was around when Haley dropped Ego Death, because she was just popping up on people's concerts left, right, and center. Like she showed up at a Deftones concert, she showed up at a Rico Nasty concert, like whatever. And she came out on stage for one of Turnstiles, and that was the first time I ever heard of them. And Haley like was praising them up the wahoo, especially for like being like for like the way that they do punk music and the
Mhm.
way that like they're really like rejuvenating the scene and how they play with that music and stuff. So I was like, okay, cool. They're on my radar. Still didn't listen to them until their NPR concert came out. And it is the first ever NPR concert to have a crowd surfing moment, because the
Oh.
lead singer got up and did a full crowd surfing moment. Like it was awesome. It was one of the heaviest, like one of the heaviest like shows I've ever seen on NPR, because usually even people with heavier sounds, they go for a more chiller, more acoustic kind of vibe kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like Mannequin Pussy did theirs recently. Also amazing. Please go and watch it. But they got a string quartet behind them, and they're another punk band, but she
Yeah.
went with more of like her softer songs and like went for more of like a chiller vibe, and it was awesome. But with Turnstile, they kept their music as is, and they just played it as they would perform it like on like a bigger stage. And it's really, really cool. So I finally listened to their album Never Enough. It's their most recent one. I think
Yep.
they have two full-length albums, that one and Glow On. I've listened to Glow On a couple of times, but not enough to talk about it. But this album is awesome. It is up your and my alley 100% in like that punk scene. Um, I don't want to say it's not like Jeff Rosenstock, but I don't know. I just feel like Jeff Rosenstock would like this music,
So
if
so
that makes sense.
yeah, so actually he talked about this album in his like a Substack post about his like album breakdowns from last year. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, like the sound that they come with, and again, and it's this thing that I've been liking a lot recently, like even with LS Dunes, like they have this really great heavy energy, but they bring this like airy like lightness to it as well. Like not just through like the vocals, but just the way that the guitars are like tuned and like how they play through it. And it's such a good album. It starts off with the song, like the title of the album, like the song is called Never Enough, and it just sets this tone really, really well. And all the songs like flow through together like very good. My three favorite songs on this album are called Light Design, Dull, and Seeing Stars. I think on my most recent Instagram post, I used Light Design.
Mm.
Um, it's just such easy flowing lyrics that like that make you sway and like think and like I don't know, it's such a good vibe. It's such a good like summer vibe. Like I'm gonna be listening to this album a lot going on walks and things like that, because it has such a good energy and it's so high and like lifting kind of thing. Um, Lyric wise, I'm not gonna lie, I'm still at the point with this album where like I'm digesting what it's telling me and what it's saying.
Sure.
But again, they do sometimes hit you with that like sad shit, like you're like, oh, like you're actually like really sad right now. And other times it is genuinely just like good positive vibes. Um, I think I'm gonna try to bring up the lyrics here. For light, I think it's Light Design. Um, because it is one of my favorites on this album for sure. Yeah. Never thought I'd be on my own, but I survived. Then you saw me standing alone, and it's all because of your light design, light but design. I hold my head
Mm.
and cry. And like that's all it really that song says. But again, it's just those simple lyrics with the sound that it produces. It's just, I don't know, it's just so good. And it's just like you're like ascending and you're just like, yes, let's go. Like
Fuck yeah.
it's just really it's just good. And like again, and in that balance too of like it gets airy, but then I think the next song immediately after um that song, let me check what comes after. Go to album, thank you. Is okay. The one immediately after like design is dull, and then dull gets super heavy, big drum kind of like moment, really, and like
Mm.
it's just a really fun how they play ebb and flow with like the vibe of the whole situation while still keeping that like airiness to it.
Yeah, that sounds fucking amazing.
And
It
yeah,
definitely sounds like something that's up my alley.
you would. It's basically described as like DIY hardcore, like punk kind of situation.
Yeah.
And like they're super cool. I highly recommend listening to the album, but also throwing on that NPR concert. It was a really
Mm.
good set, I have to say. Like, and I think it was all from this album. Like I think they did Never Enough, and I think they definitely did Seeing Stars. Um, but and I can't remember what else, but it's a really good set. And I just think these guys are so up your alley. So I'm also for my recommendation for this month for you to talk like to listen to before the next episode is this album.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
really want to know your own thoughts on it for sure.
Yeah, I'm interested to give that a listen. Yeah. I think I'll like it.
I
I like from everything I've heard about Turnstile, it seems like a band I'd like. It's just I haven't really
Yeah.
delved in yet.
I also have to look something up really quick because I don't want to talk about this. Okay. I don't want to talk about this too much because I want to talk about it in the next episode because it was like it's a part of like the May situation. But
Sure.
American Football's album just came out.
Oh, I haven't listened yet.
Um,
Okay.
it's going to be one of my albums of the year. I'm not going to lie. But Brandon Yates, who is the lead singer of Turnstile, he's featured on a song.
I did see that. Yeah.
And yeah, and it's really good. Wisp is
Okay.
also featured on that, which I talked
Oh.
about in the last episode, I believe. And if I didn't talk about it on the last episode, I talked about it in my most like in my Substack post of an artist that I've been really loving lately. So it's just kind of cool to see all these like newer bands that I've been getting into actually kind of like coming together and like being a part of something.
Yeah, very much in the culture. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I gotta check out that American
But
Football album as well. Yeah.
oh yeah, you do. It's so good. It's like that's what I listen to on my walk to like the bar and back, and like
Mm-hmm.
listening to that album in particular in the middle of the night, like and that was like the biggest vibe I could have had like ever.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. Okay, I will listen to both of
Like
those for next time.
yeah,
That sounds great.
please do.
Um,
Yeah.
that's awesome. Before we get started on the next one, I'd like to take like a 5 minute break if that's okay.
Yes. Please
Okay.
do. Yes,
Awesome.
we've been yapping too long.
A few moments later.
Hello.
Oh, oh my god.
Hello.
Oh my oh, Kendall, you're really here. My hero.
I'm here to talk about my favorite movie, Return of the King. The one where I'm really mean to all the hobbits.
Well, in your defense, you did kind of like get reincarnated. You came back anyways. That's,
Yes, but all the hobbits can go fuck themselves.
yes.
Especially
Yeah.
that little Mary boy.
You mean Pippin?
Pippin.
No. Yeah, Pippin's the one
Pippin.
that fucks everything up.
Pippin's a fucking idiot.
Oh, yeah, yes.
He's a
What do you mean,
fool.
A fool of a toque.
He's a fool of a toque. I paid $30 for this.
No, you did.
I did. I did. I'm so glad we moved the podcast back because this would not have been here in time.
I am so glad that you invested into this show by giving us this beautiful moment here today. This is my moment of the day.
I figured it would be. I'm glad. I'm very glad. What are we talking about?
What are we talking about, Brendyn? Brendyn, I asked you to finally watch Return of the King for me, and I want you to sit down and I want you to tell me about your experience. Not only that you finished Return of the King, but now that you've finished the trilogy as a whole.
Okay, will do. That is something we can definitely talk about. So, yeah, you recommended me Return of the King, and it's very funny because, well, I haven't watched it before, which is insane. That is an insane person thing to do, not watch that movie.
Especially when you watch the first two, and so you just didn't watch this third one. And I would like to point out, after we filmed that episode, I think it was either the same day or the next day, like pretty early in the morning, I got a message from Meg being like, thank God that you finally asked now. I've been trying to get him to watch Return of the King forever. And I was like, you're welcome. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, that was definitely yeah. You did that for Meg 100%.
Yep.
Yeah, no, okay. So I've seen Fellowship many times. Many times. I've read like half of Fellowship as well. Just to put it out there, I have nothing against Lord of the Rings. Nothing.
No.
Zero. I enjoy Lord of the Rings. For as the little I consumed of it, I did enjoy it.
Yes.
I watched Two Towers all the way through for the first time. Maybe 4 or 5 months ago, maybe 6 months ago.
Yeah.
It was like relatively recently. Like it wasn't a long time ago. But me and Meg never got to Return of the King, because to be fair, that movie is 4.5 fucking hours long for the extended edition, which Meg wanted to watch.
Yeah.
So I guess before I get into it, like, what is your experience with Lord of the Rings? What is your, hit me up with it.
Oh, I love Lord of the Rings. When I was a kid, I was super terrified of it, specifically because of Gollum. My brother would actually used to bully me by doing like the Gollum, like the choking noise, and I would be terrified of it. But like growing up, like it was my brother and Nan's thing to watch. Like Nan loves Lord of the Rings. Like the woman might not be able to remember what she ate last night, but she can tell you like word for word, like a scene in any of those films, kind of thing. Like she loves those movies, so that's kind of where it came from. And I think I was in like middle school when I finally started getting into it. Like I think it was a couple of years before the Hobbit movies came out is when I finally watched like the Lord of the Rings movies, and I fell in love with them. I am somebody who I will watch the extended editions. I am a personal fan of the Hobbit films. I think they're good. I have read The Hobbit, and I've only read the first like book. Like you know how like Fellowship is, like all of them are like separated into books.
Yep.
Like in Fellowship, I read like the first book, but
Okay.
that is like my extent of reading it. I do eventually want to read them all. I do have the Silmarillion, and another collection of short stories from that universe that I have that I want to read. But I haven't really. And I'm one of those people that like I'll watch it once a year. Now it's been I think 2 years since I've watched them, because I think we watched them for a friend's birthday one year, like a couple years ago, and I think that's the last time I've watched them. But I mean, like they're those things where it's like I want to sit down and watch movies all day. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to watch the entirety of Lord of the Rings. You don't watch Lord of the Rings. You don't take more than 2 days to sit down and watch Lord of the Rings, especially the extended editions. Like, except for, well, no, I shouldn't say everybody, but
Except for
if you're someone
Gandalf.
like me, yeah. Except for good old Gandalf, he can take as long as he wants.
He can. He really can. Yeah, no, like I know you've been a Lord of the Rings fan forever. Yeah, no, I it came as a little bit of a surprise that you recommended Return of the King, but I took it in stride. I did bitch and moan about it for as long as I could. Certainly.
I think it's really funny that you were surprised about it, because when we were getting ready for that meeting, you told me that you've never watched Return of the King.
I know.
And so that was me going, well, there we go. That's what I'm going to recommend you.
I'm
and
so
I
stupid.
Said that. So
I'm so stupid.
speak before you speak, Brendyn.
I know. I really should. But no, like I didn't necessarily expect that, and it's very funny that that's what came up. The first one is like one of my biggest media blind spots. Yeah. So I guess like, so the thing with Lord of the Rings for me that I have a lot of trouble with is the continuity of the story, because it is very long, and I think I've mentioned this before. I struggle to watch movies that are longer than like an hour and a half.
Yes. You are not you're a very particular type of long form media kind of person, and
Yes.
long films, like films over 2 hours, is not usually your forte.
Yeah, I don't, and it's weird because sometimes I can sit and watch a lot of TV. Again, I watched a lot of TV last night, but even that was like, that for me even is like, at least I can get up for like 20 minutes after this episode and go do some dishes or go do
Yeah.
whatever. Like I always need to be doing something. So like
Mhm.
movies I find particularly difficult sometimes. And Lord of the Rings obviously is like the juggernaut for that, where it again, these extended edition movies are fucking huge, right?
Yeah.
Um so that's not to say I wasn't doing anything while watching Return of the King. I of course was like maybe like fiddling away at the computer doing some work or whatever, had it up on my
Yeah.
big TV over here. But like, you know, I was honed in on what was going on for sure. And yeah, this is a very interesting Lord of the Rings movie. Um
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. It was cool. I enjoyed it. Neg asked me afterwards what my favorite Lord of the Rings movie is, and I don't really know. you know,
Mhm.
what's your favorite out of the three? Is this one your favorite?
I I do really like Return of the King. I like how it brings everything together. I like I specifically really love the stuff of Pippin and Gandalf in the city. I'm going to say this right now. Have I loved Lord of the Rings since I was like in middle school? Yes. Do I have names and places down? No, I am not one of those
Never.
people. Like, I know I'm a history nerd and stuff, but like remembering names and stuff is some of the worst things that I have. Um, but then being in that city, um, and like Mary stuff with like the king and like the king's like disillusionment and like that and that all that stuff. I love that stuff. And like
Yeah.
Aragorn coming like taking his like rightful place as like king and like and stuff like that. Like I eat all of that stuff up. But I personally am such I love Two Towers a lot. I know that again, like we were talking about like that act two dredge that can happen. And I can see how some people feel that in Two Towers, and I can see like, especially I know in the book, because I'm pretty sure with how he did it in the book was he followed Legolas and them for like the whole thing, and then he just stopped, went back in time, and went back to like Frodo and them, and like
Okay.
did it all again. Like it wasn't back and forth like they did it in the movie, which I think is very smart that they did that for the film, of course.
Yeah.
But I love the world building of Two Towers. I love watching everybody going through their different, like having the party split and them all going through different things. The tree ends and like that stuff is some of my favorite just things in general. Not only with this conversation about environmentalism, but like also just like how they did it and like how it's sometimes hard to like convince like an older generation to join into a fight or like to be a part of something and like yeah, I love Two Towers for all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think like it's turned into such a big meme now because everybody talks about it. But I mean, like, it's also that the movie with where Buddy hits his toe, like breaks his toe. So every single Lord of the Rings nerd who has like, do you want to know a fun fact? He actually broke his toe and like
Yes.
he like screamed bloody murder and that was real and it was so good that they decided to keep it. And I was like, yeah, because he broke his toe, so the pain came through pretty well.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I would keep it in two. Like, bleed for your work, I guess, but like, we get it. It
Yeah.
was a good moment.
Yeah.
Like,
Absolutely.
but yeah, I also think Two Towers is Two Towers the one with Shelob, or is that Return of the King, the big spider?
That is the one. That is Return of the King. That's on.
Okay.
That's on like the mountain. That's on Mordor.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think.
Sorry,
Yeah.
there are certain things that I also conflate between Return of the King and Two Towers
Yeah.
because, again, of how I watch them. Usually, like that back to back, some things can sometimes melt.
Oh, certainly. Yeah. 100%.
Um, but yeah, I really do love Two Towers.
Mm-hmm.
It is my favorite.
Yeah, I'd say Fellowship is probably my favorite, just out of like I've watched it the most. But like, I really love the stuff with the. I love. I just love Rohan in general. Is that what it's
Yeah.
called? Rohan, the town.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
like I love all the characters there and like everything having to do with what's going on there. This the stuff like the political intrigue of the city, like in Return of the King, I guess, of like trying to get this guy in on like what's happening and like your city is going to fall if you don't do something about it, and like
Hmm.
he just does not care because all the
Yeah.
way back in the first movie, his son died. And it's
Yeah.
like this is
And
a perfect way to like kind of wrap everything around to like the current conflict. Like it's
oh,
amazing.
absolutely. And like to tie it back into like the whole theme of like the corruption of man and how
Yeah.
and like the things that do corrupt. And like I think my favorite thing about that king too is like it's not just because his son died, he also has this huge like ego that believes that like because he is also king and like that's his inherited right and things like that too, that like whatever he says go, and like he doesn't see it, then it's not happening. He doesn't see the fight happening and it's not on our home front, then it's not my problem. And I'm not, very
Mhm.
Thranduil in that way. Um,
100%. Yeah.
just a lot more full of grief and mourning because again he lost his favorite son, even though he has another one right there trying his best.
Yeah, yeah, and obviously his delusions into like, oh, he was shot and looks like he's dead, he's actually alive or whatever. They're gonna fucking burn him or whatever.
Yeah.
And like, and I just love how this movie plays with grief. Like, I love anything that deals with
Yes.
grief in any way. But I feel like Return of the King does a really great job of this because you can contrast like his disillusionment with the motivations of the I'm just gonna call them like the spectral soldiers who
Yes.
they mustered near like the mid end of the film, where they're like,
Mhm.
they've already lost. Like, these guys have been dead forever. They've failed. And yet they are still willing to, after being motivated, after, being promised, like, okay, we're going to make sure, like, as soon as this is over, you guys are free to go. Like, you guys are fucking, like, but don't you want to, like, fucking fight back? Or are you just going to be ghosts in this fucking world forever? Like,
Yeah.
and like just how that contrasts with the king's disillusionment around his son's death and everything. Like, it
Yeah.
both are loss, right? Except one is like falling so deep into that, and the other is like, you know what, fuck that loss, like, we're coming back.
Yeah.
Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, and
And I
yeah, that was
think
brilliant, personally, I thought.
yeah. And I think also that just calls back to like not to bring class into it, but even the class of it of like
Yep.
the king has that privilege to fall into that disillusionment, but like the soldiers, like they're able to find like the hope in that because why you're right, like this is not how I want to be. I don't want to have failed my country. I don't want to fail my people. Like we need
Hmm.
to do this. You're right. Let's go. Like we made a promise and we'll lead up to that promise because that's the type of people we are.
Yeah, absolutely. There's like, it really strikes me. I mean, I don't know. I know that like Tolkien obviously fought in war. Like, he was in World War
Yes.
One.
Yes. He was at the Battle of the Somme.
Okay, yeah, and he like obviously took a lot from that, no doubt. But like, I feel like there are so many influences here from like the rise of like authoritarianism and fascism in particular, especially around like the orcs and like kind of having like a faceless master, and like just the spread of ideology and how it creeps up on like those who are like weak to it, essentially, right? The rich
Yeah.
and powerful who are who are becoming disillusioned by and letting the worst happen to their subjects,
Yeah.
for what reason, who knows, like.
Well, we also have to remember too, like when Tolkien was writing this, he started writing it after the Psalms. So like and like
Yeah.
after World War I. So like he was also writing during a time when it was that in between with like the growing of like with the growing of like what was happening in Germany and like the
Yes.
slow evolution in the World War II. So like he's watching that happening in real life while also coming to terms with his experience on the battlefield, while also coming to terms with because like another big thing in Lord of the Rings is like its conversation around environmentalism and like the rise of like this new industrial age with war happening and like what that means and what that's doing to our environment and to our world and things like that, and turning these huge beautiful landmarks into vicious battlegrounds and like and stuff like that. So like yeah, that mid range. I can't remember what his involvement was in World War II and what he did have. Again, I researched things a little bit, but not too intensely when it comes to
Yeah.
Tolkien. Um, but um, but like yeah, you can clearly see how that turmoil of a time is so embedded into this narrative, and it's just like again, it's why I love fantasy, and it's because it's our ability to talk about things that people aren't quite ready to digest because it's too recent or it's too close to home. So to give it such a different setting, it gives that different perspective and it allows them to like think about it in a different way and to actually like digest like what you've experienced and what you've gone through and like the actual world events that existed.
Yeah, 100%. Like it, and like as something that is often considered like it's not at all, but like something that's considered like the first high fantasy. Like it's
Yeah.
so important that it borrows so much from real life in order to tell its story, because that's how not only, that's how we buy into it. That is how people of the time buy into Tolkien's writing. It's not because of all
Yes.
this fucking shit that he's taken from mythology and whatnot and different cultures, but it's also just like the fact that this is relating so much to the issues we're seeing now. Like you said, like the environmentalism aspect, like fucking Mordor is basically just a fucking giant weapons factory. That shit is just like that's what it is, right? It's like the end
Yeah.
result of like environmental devastation for war.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like just like the fact that he was willing to put this in his high fantasy book, and like this is the result of like the war that it, like the constant want to
This
always
is
be
the
at
result
war,
of the
you
this is the
know.
result of the greed of man, and this is
Yeah,
the
100%.
this is the true downfall of man will always be its greed, right? That is the core set in stone thing that like that's conversation. And of course, like he comes in with Frodo to kind of talk about like, no, like there are people who are willing and like good, but they're not the people that you expect them to be. It's not going to be your soldiers. It's not going to be your people who are built to possess and have power. It's going to be the people who do not want power. And it's the people who
Exactly.
do not want to do this, but they are the people who have to because of the simple fact that they don't want it.
100%. 100%. Yeah. I don't know.
Hmm.
It's the other thing I was going to mention with Lord of the Rings generally, like, is that I love the fact that I could see so many different, um, like I could see the inspirations that so much of the media I love is taking from Tolkien.
Yeah.
It is so fucking wild that at points in this film I was like, oh shit, Oda must be a fan.
Yes.
Like,
Well, of course.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, like absolutely. I can't even think of examples right now, but like Oda 100% loves Lord of the Rings. Even just in like the structure of world building alone and what how Tolkien world builds, like
yeah,
that was the stepping stone for Oda to be like, cool, so I can take as long as I want with my narrative. Great, I'm going to.
like, yeah, seriously, yeah.
Like, now this is just like a silly one, but one of my favorite, most recent pieces of media that referenced Lord of the Rings was Resident Evil Requiem.
Oh, okay.
When Liam re-enters Raccoon City, um, there is a giant spider that he fights. But when he gets introduced, they reshowed it like perfectly, like it perfectly matches up with the scene in Return of the King of like how Frodo meets Shelob and sees it kind of thing, and they fully redo it with Leon, and it's awesome. Like as soon as it started happening, I was like, why am I getting deja vu? Why have I seen this before? And it's like, oh, because you watched it in Return of the King 10,000 times. Like,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
wild. That's really
right.
cool.
I just think it's so fun and like yeah, I think, and that's why I really wanted you to watch Return of the King because you've watched the other two, you have to watch this one, but it's like it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, like this is so culturally ingrained into us. Like even if you've never watched it before, even if you don't know its name, you've
Mm-hmm.
seen some form of thing that was influenced by it, and like
100%.
how fantasy functions today is because of not only Tolkien but also with the films themselves. Like they were so instrumental in filmmaking in general, and also with fantasy being in the mainstream. Because I mean, let's face it, like if I remember correctly, like fantasy, it's kind of like horror, where like it was never that high up in the grossing like films and like high standards and stuff like that. And that those movies really changed the game for fantasy and film.
100%. You wouldn't have like the popularity of the Game of Thrones HBO adaptation without something like Lord of the Rings. It wouldn't have fucking been approved. It wouldn't have even been green lighted. Like,
Exactly.
yeah, and from the like the composition perspective, like again, like the I even before I've watched any of the movies, I've seen the behind the scenes of like how they make Gandalf like
Yes.
tower over the hobbits and like and I'm like, this is fucking amazing. This is so
Yeah.
wild to me that they were able to do this. Like it's
Like
genuinely like it's masterwork. It's amazing.
yeah, like hold on, I gotta look up something because I feel stupid that I am losing names, even though I just like forgave myself for not knowing things. Um, who's who's the creator of the movies? Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson, yeah.
Like Peter Jackson as a director is up there like culturally as like James Cameron is when it comes to like the evolution of like technology and like the way we film things.
Very much.
And to anybody who's ever watched Lord of the Rings and hasn't watched the bonus features of like the behind the scenes, or maybe you've never watched Lord of the Rings, still watch the behind the scenes. Like the making of this film is insane. So much love and passion went into it. Like the people who built the costumes, like I remember watching them talk about building the chainmail and how it is just rivet by rivets, somebody building it from the neck up. Like I think they were talking specifically about like the elven chain that Frodo wears or something like that. Like there's just, it's just such a beautiful timestamp of like art and like the full capabilities of it. Like that's another reason why Two Towers is one of my favorite movies, because it has the battle of oh my god,
Helm's Deep?
but the real Helm's Deep.
Yeah.
Like that is one of the most impressive fight battles to be recorded of all time, because like every single person that's in that is in that.
Yeah.
And like that, those are real people with outfits on doing that. That's hundreds of people, and they filmed it all. Like, and like the ladders going up, and like just that whole battle. It's just so impressive, and like it's just super cool.
It's a technical marvel, yeah. Like even if you have not watched the movies, like if you're a fan of film, you need to like watch those features just on like to understand the technical level. Yeah. It's going back, but I did think of it while we were talking. Like, you know, just to get to the movie a little bit, like Return of the King specifically, I want to talk a little bit about the ending, because I thought it was like it was really like, I feel like it tied it all together for me in a lot of ways. Obviously, like one of the most fucking epic scenes out of the three movies is the entire fucking city bowing for the four hobbits. Like, and I've seen that scene before, just like in clips or whatever, but like, holy fuck, like in context,
just see it,
amazing. Like that's so, it's just, again, and these are like, the hobbits are like constantly shit on by everybody as like little foolish idiots. Like they're basically children who never grew up in a way, right?
Yeah,
is essentially, from my understanding, the concept. They're basically Peter Pan's little fucking idiots hanging around. And like it sparked so much in me to see like that at the end, where they were like, nope, no judgment whatsoever on who you are or what you are. You fucking saved the world, okay? Like I don't, like, you know, Buddy might be the king now, but like, you know, he's getting down on his knees to fucking thank them. Like, just cinema.
It's such a powerful moment, and it's just so, honestly, it makes me cry every time, just because of like, like that, well, everything you said, but also it's just this idea of like, it doesn't matter how small you are, it doesn't matter how remote of a life that you live, you can still have an impact in this world, and like you still matter, and like you deserve to be bowed to. Even if you didn't save the world, you still deserve to be recognized, kind of thing.
Absolutely. All you need is you know, the heart to go on, and friends. That's it.
Yeah.
Again, One Piece. That's One Piece, man. I would have stole this shit.
Sometimes literally, like we're doing it all over again, because I don't know, I think those themes of like, you know, the friends we make along the way, like it's like my friends are my power, right? Like that's clearly something that the both of us are big fans of. Well, I think Kingdom Hearts is the first one for me. Lord of the Rings definitely kept that perpetuating until we got to One Piece.
Yeah, it's very much like I don't know if it's the origin point necessarily, but it's the one that everybody thinks about, like with Frodo and Sam, and Merry and Pippin. Like it's genuinely, and even fucking, oh my god, the dwarf's name, I'm sorry, he's my favorite character, I forgot his name. Gimli and Legolas, and sorry, god damn it, what's his name, the guy who becomes the king, fuck, Aragorn, thank you. Like their relationship and like how that develops, and like all of this to me is just like, like it is the pure distillation of that kind of friendship shonen shit that we see
Yeah.
throughout like manga and stuff, and I'm like, I love that. That's amazing.
It's yeah, it's perfect. And once again, just to kind of like go back to like Tolkien and like his life and stuff.
Yeah,
Again, I do think that that's 100% built off of like, you think about like what soldiers go through and how they go, like how are you
yeah,
supposed to go out on the battlefield every day? You look to the person next to you. They are the most important. Like the people that you're fighting alongside with, those are the people who matter. Those are the people that keep you moving forward. Those like
yeah,
that's why you get out of the trench every time and attempt. And like he just really brings that home just by simply even just through Sam and Frodo
100%.
alone.
Yeah, honestly, 100%. Yeah, and I mean they go through some shit.
Yeah.
They go through so much shit.
I mean, Frodo never wouldn't have done it without Sam.
No.
Sam never would have went on this journey if it wasn't for Frodo. Like,
Yeah.
like he never would have came back and saved him from Shelob if they,
Yeah.
if he
100%.
didn't truly love him or like care for him or like, like he knew he was going to regret it if he left him there. Why? Just because he was upset at him? Like,
Yeah.
this is
So
the end of
what?
the world we're talking about. If I can't, what if he doesn't? And that's my fault. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. 100%.
I love friendship.
They're such good friends.
Yes.
Definitely nothing gay about it at all.
They've never kissed once in their
Not a
lives.
hint. Not a hint. There wasn't
Mm-mm.
several points in the movie where I was saying just kiss.
Yeah, literally.
um.
Like,
So I did want to get your opinion on like the end of the movie, where like the send off for Frodo.
in like just in general.
Yeah, just like the him like they find what's his name? Sorry, god damn it.
Bilbo.
Names. Bilbo, thank you. They get Bilbo and they cross over to the elves heaven
Yeah.
essentially. Like, what's your thoughts on all
Uh,
that? Like, how'd you feel about it all?
I when it comes to Bilbo, it makes sense. I really like it as a send off to Bilbo because he's lived his full life and like the elves have always like with his relationship with them from like the Hobbit and stuff, like they've given them this promise of like you can come with us kind of thing.
Yeah,
Um, but with Frodo, like I really like it because it really shows the struggle of like post war.
yeah,
What do you do after? Who are you after? And like Frodo really struggled with it once he returned. Like Sam went and got married and had a kid and like was able to continue life, but like Frodo just he couldn't. Not that he couldn't move past it, but like where's that purpose and how are you supposed to like you just saved the world, you were given literally the most important job in the world to do, and now you're home and you're back in this little village where like the most important thing is that your aunt's trying to steal your fucking spoons and you don't, and like you promised Bilbo that you wouldn't let her take them, and like like these things that feel so menial, and it's like how do you find meaning in that again and how do you find purpose? And I think him going off with the elves is just really that point of like him accepting that he can't and there's more for him out there and he wants to see more, but also that he's done and that he's tired and he can't move on. Because I mean, like, I do know that like across the sea is like a genuinely a whole different place and stuff like that, but it is technically like it's being built up as this like heaven
it's
sort of
heaven. Like,
place as well,
it's death,
right?
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's euthanasia in a
exactly.
way,
So
right?
like, right? So like, because it is the elves being like, cool, I'm like, I live forever, but like, I'm done existing here, so I'm gonna go away.
Yes.
Um, and like, and Frodo, and so yeah, Frodo going to me is just him being like, there's nothing here left for me, so I want to see what's beyond. I'm gonna go with my uncle and move forward. Like he can't move on like the rest of them, and I think that speaks a lot to like PTSD and like
Yep.
the shell shock and like just yeah, just how like how do you how does a soldier stop being a soldier?
And I think there's a bit of physical trauma there too, right? Because there's also the wound from the wraith that gets
Yeah,
brought up, and I clocked that immediately. I was, oh, is that why? Because I knew the ending of the film beforehand, of course. Like it's
yeah,
everybody does. But like
yeah.
it was this thing where I was like, oh, okay, so like he's never really gonna get over this injury either, and it's between
Mhm.
that and like his obviously the permanent reminder of like everything that happened and like his having the ring on and shit like that. Like everything kind of melds together into this like, okay, I'm never going to be okay where I am right now. And that's kind of evident from
Yeah.
the first moment they come back to whatever it's called, Hobbiton or the Shire or whatever.
Yep.
And they just all sit down, have a beer, and nobody says a fucking word to them. Like, there's no
Because
celebration, there's nothing.
no,
You know?
because it's like, oh, you got yours back. And especially with
Yeah.
how like, because that's also just like how it feels when like I feel like we as well from where we came from, we can relate to hobbits a lot. Like I would describe the people of Newfoundland like as like hobbits, halflings, and elves and dwarves. Sorry, like those are like the types of people that exist here on this island.
Yeah.
Whether they're hardworking people who just work all day, or they're the people who just tend to their farms and live like a very natural life, like that type of vibe, type of situation. And like, yeah, there is this weird feeling of like you leave home. Like I don't know about you, but like when I go back to like my hometown, like everyone's like, yeah, okay, whatever, you're back, like
Yeah.
whatever. But it's like you don't know what I've gone through the shit and back, and you don't want to ask me about it. Like you don't want to like,
Yeah.
right, because it doesn't matter to you. Even though that was the most important thing in the world and we lived through it, you were so unaware of it because it wasn't on your home front. So you don't care that it was happening
Yeah.
and it didn't happen to you. And so why would they care? Oh, it's just another story from a Took. Oh, it's just another story from a Baggins. Like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, you went on your adventure. Like, ha ha ha. It'll never matter to these people. And so, like, how can you go home and resituate yourself and be a part of that again when you're, in a way, now othered? Even if it's just an othering of yourself, like there is that separation now.
Yeah, no, 100%. And you're spot on. Like, I've definitely felt that, like, coming home to Newfoundland, where it's like, I've led an interesting life so far in my adulthood. And do I ever get questioned about it when I go home? No. No, nobody gives a fuck.
No,
And nobody gives a
no.
shit. Which is, freeing to a certain respect, but most of the time it's also like, damn,
Oh, then what do
like,
I talk to you about?
ask me about me. Like, come on. you
Yeah,
know?
you don't have to tell me the three different 80-year-olds that passed away or got cancer. You can talk to me about my personal life.
Yeah, poor Miss Skivington or whatever, but like, come on by. Like, ask me a couple questions.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
yeah,
it's
literally.
yeah. I That's a very good comparison. I think that's very fitting. And like I don't know. I think my favorite thing about that scene in general is just the grief of it all. Like again, and this fucking film series is so good at this. It's like, obviously this is supposed to be heaven, and obviously Frodo deserves this because of like his actions and whatnot. But like just seeing his
It's so
goodbye to
sad.
Sam, like that broke me. That really hit
Yeah,
me. I don't know.
Be- because at the end of the day, and again, it speaks to friendship and everything, but it's just like Sam is the one person that kept him, that made him feel normal, that
Yeah.
made him feel like he still belonged. And so it's like that's the one thing that is going to be the most heart wrenching thing to let go of. Because out of all of this, you're the one that saw me through everything. You experienced this with me, and you're the only person in this world who understands what I went through. And I'm tired and I'm done, and I don't want to try in this world anymore. And you do, and that's beautiful. And I hate that I don't want to be there with you, but I have to do this on my own. And it's that diverging path, and it's the grief of a change and a grief of doing something new and knowing that you're never going to see that person again, even if you can think about them always. But like,
Yeah.
even if like that heaven isn't like he isn't dead, but like for us it is. So like for Sam, like Frodo dies.
Yep.
Like,
100%.
yeah, it's
And
just
like,
no,
yeah,
it's really good.
just the interesting perspective again. Like you have like the person who cannot recover from what they went through, and the person who basically
Yep.
like finds courage in what happened and is able to like
Yeah,
start their life because of it. And like,
yeah, literally.
yeah, the fact that this is all taken from like obviously his like Tolkien's experience in war, like it's fucking beautiful. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, no, I genuinely think like Lord of the Rings is brilliant for so many fucking reasons, but I think its commentary around that is what I appreciate the most. Like
it's
yeah,
yeah, it's really good. And like, I want to read the books for a lot of reasons. Um,
yeah,
A, because I'm such a fan that I want to. B, as boring as some people do find it, at the end of the day, I do like history, and he does write like a historian.
yeah,
Um,
he
so
does.
like I am interested in that. But again, it is also just to like be able to get more of that from the source material, and like without Peter Jackson bringing in like the perspective of like, you know, the this 21st century, and like, you know, like his adaptation and his perspective of it, and just to focus solely on Tolkien's point of view.
Yeah, and I mean you know, obviously as an adaptation, it has to be an action movie to some extent, right? Not to say that the
Yes,
books aren't full of action to some extent, but like
but
we're going to get a more yeah, just obviously a better perspective of what Tolkien intended by reading what Tolkien wrote, right?
yeah,
Um
absolutely.
yeah.
And I think my favorite thing about the books that I do want to, there's a really funny animation that came out on social media a little while ago that somebody made. And it was like the pitch of like Lord of the Rings. And it
Okay.
was Tolkien pitching the book. And it was just a really funny animatic. And he was like, and they walk, 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 walk. Something happens. And then they walk, walk, walk. Because that's all really that Tolkien did, right? Yeah, he wrote some
Yeah.
of the battles and stuff, but like that whole journey is just about the walk and like the
Yeah.
actual journey of it. And like I'm excited to see about that like slow, like that slower pace, because that's also again that experience that Tolkien had. What were
Yeah.
you doing? You were walking to the fronts.
Yep.
Most of the, like half the time they had to walk there because there weren't successful like accessible
Oh,
transportation to get to where they needed to go, because that's the whole point, to not have war on the home front.
yeah.
Like
You basically just you
so
do like 10 days of walking for like 2 hours of fighting. Like, you know,
yeah.
and that's what it is. And the entire time you're anticipating like what's going to happen, when it's going to happen, and why it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Um
And
and
how
just
do
trying to
you
like
fill up
deal
that
with that.
time? Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely do want to read the books eventually because of that. But
Yeah, me as
I'm
well.
so
Yeah.
glad you came out of it feeling good about them and loving them, because they are really just great pieces of media.
Yeah, I mean I think so. I mean, you know, the proof of it is I paid $30 for a Gandalf wig, you know?
Yes. The fact that you were committing to that is me. And once again, thank you for doing it. I recommend for Halloween this year to do
Hmm.
my favorite bit, which is a big naturals Gandalf.
Oh, yes.
Um,
Oh. Oh.
yeah,
Oh. Okay.
yeah,
Speaking of big naturals, I've been playing
yes.
Baldur's Gate with Meg.
Did you get the with these big nat mod?
First thing we did was install Wither's Big Naturals.
As God intended. It's how he's supposed to be. It's how he
It's
should have been
true.
from the very beginning.
It's so fucking funny. Um,
What is your character playing? Please let me know your class and race.
I'm a blue person,
Cool.
whatever they're called. I don't know.
Tiefling?
D&D classes. The little devil guys. Not little,
You
but
can do
like
tieflings. Yeah,
tiefling. Thank you. Tiefling. I'm a
yeah.
blue tiefling. I think I'm a fighter. Yeah, I'm a fighter. Yeah.
That
Meg.
makes sense.
Yeah, Meg's a human warlock. We're just kind of. I think we're farting around in the Underdark right now.
Cool.
Yeah,
I love
no,
that.
I'll tell you more about it next time. Hopefully, when we get a little further in. I was gonna put it on my list for this time, but I wanted to play more of it first.
Yeah, no, definitely play more of it. And that's going to be one of those ones that we can go off forever about, because you know me, I love Baldur's Gate.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I got a lot to say about Baldur's Gate. It's an interesting game.
It certainly is.
Yeah, I mean, I think that about wraps it up. Is you know, hit me with the socials here, Ken. Give me the lowdown.
Where I'm at,
The
one would
socials.
say.
Yeah, yeah. Where are you two online these days?
Yeah, mostly Instagram, and like I said, I'm trying to get back up to speed with my Substack. Both of those are Sir Florence K for the ats. I do also have my personal that I do things on. That's at underscore my sweet peaches. Um, but other than that, Instagram's the main one, Substack, and I sometimes post cringy little diary videos on TikTok as well. If you're
Nice.
interested in reading about me getting emo, once again, also Sir Florence K. What about you?
Amazing. I am also on Substack for the foreseeable future until I decide to choose otherwise. At I don't know, Brendan Cream or something or other. Brendan's Waste Management Facility is where I post all my bullshit. I try to do a couple articles a month at this point, whenever I have time. I am, of course, if you're watching this on YouTube, I am also on YouTube. I am constantly in a state of trying to write video essays and then going back on my thoughts and writing other shit. And something will be released eventually. Don't worry about it. Subscribe for more.
One day.
I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on Instagram. I write for thecoast.ca, Halifax-based news outlet. Mostly arts and entertainment, sometimes politics. And yeah, I forgot to issue your recommendation, I'm realizing at this moment.
Yeah. So now that we've done all of that, like I said, that Turnstile album, you need to listen to it. You need to let me know. But what are you recommending me today?
Okay, so earlier in April, actually it wasn't that early. It was like April 20th. Happy 420, everyone. I wrote up a little list of all the Eurovision songs from this year. Ken, what's your experience with Eurovision?
My experience is ABBA and the Eurovision movie that came out with Will Ferrell and Rachel McAdams.
Of course it is. Okay, so I knew nothing about it until Meg was like, "You are an idiot, and you need." That's not what Meg said. Meg just really likes Eurovision, and forced me to watch all the songs.
That's another thing that I am aware of. I know that Meg is a big fan of Eurovision.
Meg has been a big fan of Eurovision for a while, and this year I listened to every single track, which you can read my thoughts on my Substack. There's some really great ones there that I love. So my recommendation is from May 12th to 16th, the Eurovision Song Contest will be ongoing. I want us to fucking come back here and talk some Eurovision. I want 3 favorites, I want 3 least favorites, and I want us to fucking go into this shit.
Okay. 3 faves and 3 worst. Okay.
Yeah.
Done.
That's all I want. It's a bit of a task, I understand, but I know you can do it. I believe in you.
That's okay. I will write it in my calendars, and I'll make sure to assort the time to be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, it'll all be on YouTube afterward anyway, so if you can't catch it like days of, it doesn't really matter.
Okay, beautiful. But yes, I think that will be a really fun thing to come back and talk about, actually.
I think so too. I'm kind of hyped for it. I'm not going to lie.
Okay, cool.
Awesome.
Okay, that's going to be really fun.
Thank you, everybody, for tuning in for another monthly episode of Shooting the Shit. I'm Gandalf, the white.
I'm Ken, also the white.
Also white. Ken, the Caucasian. White. And we're signing the fuck off.
Thank you for shooting the shit.
Boom.